All right, guys. Good night. Good night. Good night. I am back. And we just want to show how defiant we are to the system. I don't know what happened, but everything should have been going well. And for whatever reason, we're on. So you can just go ahead and send the link out and tell somebody that we're on. That the natural alternative is on. Cynthia B. Big up. Thank you again for joining us. As I said, we do have a wonderful show lined up for you this evening. So just send out the link. I see Herbert Towsalen is on. Good night, Herbert. How are you? Uh, I know Cynthia is going to be back soon, so let me just get some of these comments on. Want to welcome you. I'm still in Laos, and I have a wonderful show lined up for you this evening. As I said, Chief Curry will be on, and he'll be talking to us about preserving cockpit country and natural resources. We were just off a while ago. Everything was okay and was going fine, and then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, we just bumped off. But we're back, and this time we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, and we are on Twitter. And so we're streaming live from multiple platforms. Before, we were just streaming from one platform. So we've come back bigger, we've come back better. Dave, I'm still waiting on you. All right, good night, good night. All right, so I just want to apologize. My Facebook page was hacked recently, and a number of persons that were connected to me was hacked as well, and sent a number of messages. That was not me. A number of inappropriate content was being shared that is just not me. And so I realize now that to some extent we've come under the scrutiny, and we've got to get ready now for cyber attacks. We've got to get ready for all type of cyber activities, illegal cyber activities. And so I just want to let you know that that's not me. Hyacinth Baker, greetings, Doc, watching you from Montego Bay, Jamaica. Welcome, Cynthia. I was just on, and I had to abandon that video. So Althea Taylor was on, and I was saying that Althea is one of my ardent subscriber. She's also from here in Portland, and she runs an awesome channel. I want you to go over there and visit her and look at what she's doing, the work that she's doing. She features the positive happenings in Portland, as well as interesting sites, interesting information. She brings that out on our channel. I have been visiting a number of your channels to just look at what's there. I like to share that as well. Herbert Towsalen is watching from Leedsburg, Florida. All right. Hi, Andrea. Tell us where you're joining us from. Anybody here from Facebook? Any of our Facebook guys here? Let me know. I think Hyacinth is on YouTube. Let me know where you're joining us from. All right. So tonight we have a lot of activities planned. As I said, Chief Curry will be with us. And when I started out the 60 Minutes with Mother Nature series, the 60 Minutes with Mother Nature series was originally my way of taking persons with me on a herb walk for them to share with me. And then we realized, hey, Rashida Vitali from St. Catherine from Facebook, welcome, Rashida. We were having issues with some of the locations that we were going in trying to video because the reception and all that. And so I went into my thinking cap to think of how could I actually bring persons with me on the herb walk. And so I decided to pre-record. So I decided to pre-record the herb walk and then show them later. But then in doing so, we lost a very important component of our herb walk, which was our interactive component. And so that got me thinking, and I came up with the idea now to pre-record the herb walk, release it on a Sunday at 3, and then do a live. So I started the live, which is this the natural alternative. But then I was thinking about talking to aspects of the herb walk, and then it dawned on me that I don't have to just talk. I can literally go through all the herbs on the platform like this, and I can also take calls, and I can also have the interaction. So I'm going to be having the best of two worlds this evening. So in this 60 Minutes with Mother Nature series, the idea is basically to highlight the positive activities that are related to herb and indigenous Caribbean medicine. My intention is for it to have 3 segments. One is the indigenous health, where I'll be having a guest whose activities or whose interest is in relation to natural medicine. Then we would have the second segment, which is our product spotlight, where we would feature a particular product and talk about the benefit of that product. And then the third would be the wellness report, where we would feature somebody who would like to share their testimony as it relates to natural medicine or natural remedies and how it changed their lives. So we for the past, I've been trying to get some persons who I know who have benefited from natural remedies, who have some powerful, inspiring stories, but I've not been able to do so as yet. So I'm only working with what I have. Welcome again, Dine in Nature. Thank you for joining us. Tell us where you're joining us from. All right. So before we go into our segment, I want to ask our producer to try to see if we can get Chief Corey in the studio, because we have lost some time. But the goal is to look at the herbs that we featured this week, to talk about them. And of course, live Q&A, it is to take questions, not only relating to the herbs that we feature, but also to take questions that you may have as it relates to your health or health-related issues. So I want you to check out our description. I don't know if it's not in the live description, this is going to be in the pre-recorded description. There are a number of links there. So there's a contact link for persons who want to contact us. You can check out our link for all of those links as it relates to contacting us. They are in our description, so you can check that out. All right. There's also my upcoming visit to Florida, which is going to be June 10 to 15. There should be a form in the description. If it's not there in the live, because I don't know what's there now, it's going to be after the recording. So you can check back if it's not there now. There's going to be a form that you can fill out if it is that you'd want to visit us there in Florida. That's June 17 to 21. And then June 10 to 15, we'll be in New York. There's a form there that you can fill out as well. And then we have our upcoming herb walk, which is going to be June 23. That's my son Joshua that has put on a herb walk. So I really would want you to come out. It's going to be over there in Portland. It's Sunday, June 23, starting at, I believe, 9 a.m. So there's a form. If it's not there, then at the end of this recording, we're going to put that form there where you can come on out. We can meet. We can have some food. We can swim in the river. And of course, we can look at some herbs. All right. So that's all the links that are there. There are some other links there. You can check them out if it is that you want to reach out to me. Want to apologize for some persons who I have some booked appointments with because I'm in 12, where I'm at now, I'm in Asia, where the time zone is like 12 hours, a 12-hour difference. So sometimes it's so challenging to do the show this morning, I had to be up. Well, it's morning for me now. It's night for you. But I had to be up from 12 a.m., which is about 12 p.m. back in Jamaica, 1 p.m. in most parts of the world where I interact. So it's been very challenging, but I am going to get through to you throughout the course of this week. All right, so let's go into our herb walk. How many persons were able to watch today's video? All right, let's go into today's video. We're going to look at some herbs. We're going to look at some herbs. Hold on. We're going to look at some herbs. We're going to look at the herbs that we featured today. We looked at about the drive, or the intention was to feature about 20 herbs. And I want to apologize from now for our incorrect counting. When we thought that we didn't have enough herbs, we had more than enough herbs. So we ended up with about 22 herbs in the video, but yet we were saying that we had somewhere about 18 or 19 or something like that. But we actually had enough herbs. So we're going to go into that right now. We're going to look at these herbs. Also, I'm going to open our phone lines. So I'm going to open our phone lines where we can look at, we can take comments, we can take questions, we can hear you interacting with us. All right, so it's a little challenging, guys, because I'm doing so much while I am on screen. It's really challenging, but all right, let's go.
We're from Russia. Yeah.
Russia?
Yeah.
And Dr. Ben. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I want to test the Russian people to see how knowledgeable they are of herbs. 5 herbs from Russia.
5 herbs?
Yeah, that you know.
Which one? Smoke or
Oh!
which one?
Smoke? No, not smoke. Medicine. Right. All right. Good day. Good day. So I'm here with Yassar.
Hello.
All right. And today we're going to be doing a herb walk from Laos. Today we want to see how many plants we can identify in Laos that are similar to what we can find in Jamaica. All right. So let's go. All right. So we're not in the city, outside the city. We're in the city. Maybe at some point we're going to get a chance to go outside the city and see if we can find some herbs. All right. So what we typically do is we typically try to look at the herbs that reoccur, that repeat themselves. We try to look at the herbs that repeat themselves more frequently first, and then we look at the other herbs outside of that. All right. So right here we have a beautiful patch of Spanish needle. All right. So these are Spanish needle, and if you taste Spanish needle, so these are actually vegetables. These are edible. These can be cooked, and I mean these are actually very beautiful. They're the right height, right green. So this is telling us that these herbs are this patch of Spanish needle is very healthy. So you could actually come here and harvest enough Spanish needle that you could eat from. So these are soft and tender. Let me just break it. Right? So look at that. Very soft. Let me allow you to taste it.
Which part?
Any part. The stem.
All right, so that's our Spanish needle, and Spanish needle has so many benefits apart from being nutritious. And you know, Yassar and I, we've done some videos utilizing these herbs. So Spanish needle is not only good for cooking. When you taste it, it's a salty herb. It's slightly salty, and what you're tasting is actually the minerals, and it boosts the immune system. It's anti-inflammatory, and it's a digestive aid. So it's very good for the digestive system. It helps to soothe digestive system, a very comforting herb. It can be taken green, or it can be taken raw. It's also very high in iron, so you can actually juice it, and it helps to it helps to boost your iron level. You can use as a mouthwash. It's also a diuretic, and it's also used for colic. So there's just so many uses of the Spanish needle. Cynthia B said, yes, I remember Claude McKay poem on the Spanish needle. All right, so I'm going to open the line. I'm going to ask Joshua just to please see if we can get Chief on, and then what we'll do is we'll just jump into his segment, because I know we've gone the time that we told him, we scheduled with him that we would be on. So see if we can try and get him on. All the information was sent to him to be on, so you can just go ahead. So Spanish needle is not only a vegetable, but it has medicinal benefits. So it's very good for the immune system. It's very good for colics, for persons who have colic, problems with eating multiple foods, and you had a problem with having colics. Then this herb is excellent for that. In one of the videos that we're going to be showing on our channel, we're going to be, because since I've been here with Yassar, we have had the opportunity to do so many videos, because I'm not seeing anybody, and we have that much time. So I've actually done a video where I have made a meal from the Spanish needle, and basically we're going to share that with you. All right. And so let's look at some more herbs.
No, it has a nice flavor. No, I'm gonna pick one from here. I'm gonna ask you to tell me the difference. All right. So taste this one and tell me what's the difference between that one and the one that you tasted before, in terms of texture.
It's more thicker.
Mm-hmm.
This is more easy to bite.
Right. So now, this is how Mother Nature communicates to us. So what we're learning from that is the one that's easy to bite, that has less medicine in it, so it's more of a vegetable. That one has more medicine in it, so you would use that more as medicine than the other one, because the texture, the plant is helping us to know that, because the texture of the plant has changed. And also the flavor will be much stronger in the one that has more texture. The texture is more fibrous, because it's the flavor is stronger because there's more medicine. So this is Spanish needle. It's salty herb, and people hear me talk a lot. People hear me talking a lot about salty herb.
So this both is Spanish needle?
It's both Spanish needle, but this is the mature Spanish needle. So try the camera here. So this is the mature Spanish needle. All right. So when I try to break it, what happens? It's more fibrous. So this is more medicine. And these over here are more vegetable. So you would take your knife and just cut right here, cut the top. It will spring back, and you could just bring this home and you could cook it. Very nutritious. These are what we call alkaline vegetables, by the way. So for persons with chronic diseases like cancer, persons with tumors, persons with chronic ailment, for about 3 months or more, your diet should consist of vegetables like these. Vegetables that are found in nature. Now, when you taste it, you'll also realize that it kind of has a little salt in it too. Right? As a matter of fact, I'm gonna bring back some of these so we can cook. All right. Normally we don't break plants because we damage it, but I need some that I don't have in the knife. So I'm gonna bring back these.
All right, so I just wanted to comment on that. Hey, Althea, Althea is back in the house, right? So one thing I want to highlight is the fact that most herbs that are medicinal in their mature state are nutritional in their younger state. So most plants that we can use as medicines, when they are mature, we can use them as vegetables when they are young. And so what really happens is that plants have a way of telling us what state they are in. So 2 ways that plants tell us the state that they are in is 3 ways that plants tell us. And I want you, I should be quizzing persons, right? Yes, sir, I should be asking persons in the group. So if you have not yet joined our Kinder Wellness community, then you should join. So I'm gonna ask questions, and the questions are gonna come from the live. That way you have to watch the live in order to answer the questions in the Kinder Wellness group. All right, but 3 ways in which plants tell us what state they are in is Vitality Trends is watching us from Cayman. 3 ways that plants tell us the state that they're in is in 1. It tells us the state that it is in through the taste. And when I talk about state, I'm talking about mature state or immature state. And this is not only plants, but in nature, even mango. When you taste a mango and it's not ready, it's going to have an unpleasant taste. So it's going to be sour, or it's going to be bitter, or it's going to be astringent. But it's going to have a taste that is not pleasant. It's going to have an unpleasant taste. So one of the ways in which plants tell us that they are not tell us the state that they are in is through taste. So it's either going to be sour, it's going to be bitter, or it's going to be astringent or staining. Another way that plants tell us the state that they are in is the texture when you taste it. All right? Hey, Odd James, welcome. So it's going to be unpleasant also, not only in the taste, but also in the texture. So what I'm actually trying to do is to help you to understand how to interpret plant, how to understand how plant communicates to us. Because plants do communicate to us through signs and symbols. So one of the ways in which plants communicate to us is through the taste, number 1. Number 2, through the texture. Good? So in the case of plants, it's going to be fibrous, it's going to be hard, it's going to be tough. So it's telling us that what state it is in. And I'll go a little in depth in that. The last way that plants communicate to us is through the developments of the plant. So I ask the question, when a child or when an animal, because this is not only for child, when an animal is undeveloped, one of the ways that we know is through the underdevelopment of its sexual parts. So for men, you will not see facial hairs, you will not see the widening of the stomach. For girls, you will not see a breast, and so on and so forth. Well, for plants, it's pretty much the same thing. When plants are not mature, it will not have seeds or blossoms, or the parts of the plant that produces seeds or blossom will not be developed. If you go back to the video that I just showed you, all the plants that are in their immature state don't have developed sexual parts. All right? So that is one way you know. So when the plant doesn't have developed sexual parts or organs, it's more in a vegetative state. What you will find also is that the plant is softer and that it is less fibrous. Why is that important to know? Because in the nutritional state, the chemicals that can potentially harm you are not at the levels that they should be. When the plant becomes mature, it becomes fibrous, it becomes bitter, it becomes astringent. A number of different chemicals are now present because the plant is telling you what state that it is in. When the plant is in its nutraceutical state, which is the medicinal state, then it can't be consumed green because the chemicals are so strong that if you consume them, they potentially can damage your liver. And so at that point, it is better to consume the plant by dehydrating them or drying them and then making a tea from it. So that is how the plant communicates to you to let you know when it's more a food or more a herb. Right? Pay attention because you're going to be quizzed All right, the questions are going to be coming in the group shortly. All right, so let's go on to plant number 2.
We're gonna cook it. I've not seen Spanish needle as beautiful as this in a very long time. So those persons who are watching from Laos, this is free vegetable. There's no money involved. And so for persons who have chronic ailments, this is the type of vegetable that you want to eat. And this is telling me that this plant is telling me that it's very happy. I don't know, somebody came by and cut it, so it has come back very nice. Also, we can see that for the mature ones, they have some red in them. So that's also telling us that it's good for the blood. So for persons who have chronic ailments, this is the vegetable that you should be eating. No domestic vegetable. This is what you should be eating. So I think we have enough. When we go home, my wife is going to be somewhat surprised to know that when I'm at home, I don't cook. And I'm all the way in Laos, so I'm going to cook this when I go home. All right? I see another plant here. That's also very popular in Jamaica. This is guaco. This is guaco. And again, it's nice and green. What does guaco use for? So far we have 2 plants. 2 plants. So Spanish needle, guaco. We're trying to find as many herbs that we can find today. All right? That we have in Jamaica. So this is guaco. And I talk about it a lot. If you notice, the guaco is growing over the plant. So this guaco is acting like a protection. It's like a parasite, but it's acting and giving protection. So this also is edible. It's a vegetable, but it's full of iron and it's extremely good for the skin. So you would dry this herb, you would make it into a powder, and you would consume it as a tea, or you can consume it as a greenie. One thing that I don't talk about a lot, which I want to say, is that this herb is also used to cleanse the blood. It is very rich in iron, very, very rich in iron. So for persons who are anemic, what you can do is you can juice it, and you can add coconut milk to it, and you can drink it.
All right. So that's the guaco. And I'm going to answer your question, Desiree and Forbes. Jared, we're joining us from Desiree. Tell us where you're joining us from. I'm going to answer your question. But yeah, guaco is a very powerful herb. You know, one of the ways that we learn about the benefits of herb is we can actually pay attention. You know, pay attention to what the plant does in nature, how it functions in nature. Now, anytime you see guaco, you're going to see guaco covering, acting as a coverage. And that's one of the clues that nature used to tell us what plants are useful for. And so it's excellent for topical wounds, for itchy skins, for eruptions, for insect bites, for rashes and snake bites. But of course, it is also edible. It can be used as a food. All of these uses that I'm telling you, these are traditional uses. So back to Desiree's question, can the Spanish needle be consumed during its flowering period? Like just as I said, herbs can be consumed, but how is it going to be consumed? Based on what I just said, once the plant has developed its sexual organs, it is now mature. Because it's now mature, it is because the chemicals are in a stronger concentration. And so those herbs that are in that strong of a concentration can affect the liver if it is consumed green, because the chemicals are very strong. So it can be consumed, but it's best consumed in that state as a tea. All right? It's best consumed as a tea. What is good for circulation, Dr. Ben? There are many herbs that are good for circulation, but when we talk about circulation, I don't just talk about what's good for circulation, I always like to start from what caused poor circulation. Because whenever we're going to attack an issue naturally, we absolutely never ever start from the premise of what's good for. We always start from what caused. Why do we start from that premise? Altia says she need to go to sleep and can't sleep because we're in class. All right. So students, as I was just saying, we always start from the premise of why is the problem originate in the first place. We do that for a number of reasons. One, we don't want to use an external agent to correct a problem that shouldn't be there in the first place. We want to look at what started, because and then number two, we don't want to support bad habits. Most of the problems that we have, so that's point number two, most of the health issues that we have is because of some bad habit. I don't know more about most practitioners, but I want to start from discouraging bad habits. So I want to identify the habit or the cause that caused the problem in the first place, because in some instances the habit needs to be changed, and we don't want to support the bad habit. And we can support bad habits by allowing people to think that they can have bad habits, create conditions, and then take natural remedies to resolve the issue. We don't want to do that. We don't want to encourage any bad habit. We want to discourage bad habits, so we want to identify the culprit, which is the bad habit, first. So what we want to do is we want to find out what caused poor circulation. And there are a number of things that can cause poor circulation. One of the major causes of poor circulation is what we call arteriosclerosis. This is where the blood vessels are hardened because of long-term exposure to cholesterol, or it can be because of a buildup of cholesterol plaque on the inside. So you can see how dangerous this is, where a person has a diet where they are eating foods that are contributing to the problem, but they are in search of a herb to resolve the issue. So a number of issues can cause that, can be damaged veins, number of issues. Cynthia B said, Dr. Ben, I use the castor oil, like you said, on my mom, and it reduces swelling and stiffness. Yes. So thank you, Cynthia. So we don't want to just go into what caused it, but as Cynthia says, most of the problems, most of the times, it is caused through two things: arteriosclerosis, or it is caused by a buildup of cholesterol plaque. Now, because this is the challenge most of the times, I usually recommend some type of salty herbs, because salty herbs, what they do is they decalcify. That is called calcification. And calcification can result in different parts of the body. Calcification in the eye causes cataract. Calcification of the kidney causes kidney stones or reduced kidney functions. Calcification of the joints causes arthritis. And so there are different types of forms of calcification in the body. So it's important to know what it is. So all the gyms, there's a very high chance that what you may need to be doing is using castor oil pack, not just the castor oil itself, but using the castor oil over the area with heat so that it can reduce that. All right, salty herbs like celery is a good herb. There is the Spanish needle, which is a salty herb. There's the guinea grass, which is a salty herb. So most grasses are salty herbs, and they help tremendously in removing intestinal plaque. Calcification. You can have calcification in the brain. Some persons who have cancer, some persons who have cancerous tumors in their breast, cancerous tumors in their prostate. Traditionally, how traditional practitioners understand is that once you're eating certain foods that cause calcification, what you need are herbs that are salt. And that's why I recommend that students, you get this chart. It's so easy to guide you as to what herbs to use when you have one of these charts. This is a chart that I use to guide me when I'm doing my herb walk, because it guides you as to, based on the taste of the plant, what is the use of the plant. And because of how the chart is set up, when we identify the use of the plant, we can also identify the opposite herbs of the opposite side and their use as well. Cynthia says, how do I get the chart? I think if there's not a link in this description of the video in the live, there's going to be a link in the description. So it is our 12 medicinal herb taste guide chart. I think there's a link in the description. You can go ahead and you can purchase the chart, and you can laminate it. And so when we are doing our herb walk, we can be on the same page. All right. Go ahead and ask the question. Let's see if we can go through these 22 videos. 22 herbs, sorry.
So again, if a person who have chronic ailments like a cancer or a tumor, what I'm saying is that this should constitute the juice that you drink, because it's loaded with minerals to remineralize the body. It adds back mineral to the blood, it adds back mineral to the skin, and because the body now has minerals, the body has raw material to heal itself. All right, so that's plant number 2. I'm going down in the river because I see another plant. So yes, this plant is found here in Laos. And this, of course, is the famous castor oil. You know castor oil?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is castor oil. So this plant produces a bean that we use to make castor oil, the castor oil beans. And castor oil is very good for also detoxifying the body. It's very good in terms of removing calcification. And I talk a lot about calcification because I'm seeing that a lot. There's another plant here that I'm seeing. I'm gonna come up because it's up there. It's up there. Oops.
Please watch out.
All right. So that's castor oil, and most people know castor oil for its laxative benefits, but castor oil is very anti-inflammatory. So it deals with inflammation in different parts of the body. This is maybe, I mean, one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory herbs in nature. So it's anti-inflammatory, it's also antioxidant, which means that it helps to eat up free radicals in the body. It's antifungal. So a person who are having a number of external fungal issues, it helps with that as well. It's also pain relieving. It has pain relieving properties. So when you make a castor oil pack, which in one of my subsequent videos, I will do a demonstration showing you how to make a castor oil pack. It's one way of having a multiplicity of benefits. It helps to relieve constipation because it's a laxative. You have to be careful though, because it is a very powerful laxative, and it can be abrasive to the digestive system. In other words, if you take too much, it can even cause you to have bleeding or blood in the stool. You don't want that. It helps to moisten the skin. It's excellent for cleaning dentures, and it's also helpful in inducing labor. And as I said, it can help with joint pain. So for persons who are having joint pain, this is an excellent herb. Jenny says, hi, Dr. Ben, do you have any information about lemongrass? Yes, we do, because it is one of the herbs that we're going to feature today. So don't go away. It's going to be one of the herbs that we feature. At a matter of fact, I believe it's going to be herb number 19. So it's herb number 19 that we are going to be featuring today. So we're going to be talking about the benefits of lemongrass, another very powerful herb. All right. Any question, guys? Just put it in the chat. and I'll answer. I don't see much persons participating from Twitter. I don't see much persons participating from Facebook. Those of you that are on Facebook in the house, let me know. Do you mix castor oil with water? No, you don't mix castor oil with water. And there are different forms of consuming castor oil. You can do a cold press, or you can do the form where you extract it from heat. And again, there are different benefits with that. So it's again all about knowing how to use it. Because when you cold press it, the heat converts certain active enzymes and chemicals that might be harmful if you ingest it. So I wouldn't recommend so much ingesting the green castor oil, the compressed castor oil, because that can have adverse effects on you, especially if you're having certain allergies. All right, so I don't recommend it. But if it is the one that is extracted through heat, then highly recommend it. All right. So let's move on, guys.
Oh, before I come up, let's look at this one. When I was coming down, I saw this. All right, so this plant that I'm going to show you, we call this sweet cup. It's like a wild passion. And that's this plant here. It's actually a fruit. Do you know this fruit? We call it sweet cup. I'm trying to see if I can find a ripe one. Tastes very nice. So they're green. I'm seeing any ripe ones now.
Is it called what?
Sweet cup.
Sweet cup.
Yeah. So it's the vine is
All right, so this is sweet cup. Most of us as children would remember going to the bush to get this herb or get this fruit. You know, as children we were growing up, we didn't have lunch. Like, no, we would just forage. We would go to the bush and we would pick mangoes and we would pick guineps. And this is why the fruit that we would pick, sweet cup, very nice. It's from the passion flower family. And the scientific name is Passiflora foetida. And it's also called stinking passion. And the flowers of stinking passion, or the leaves, has been used traditionally as a medicine in treating diseases such as throat infection. So persons who have had throat infection, persons who have had giddiness. It's used for liver disorder. It's used for diarrhea. It's used for tumors. So many benefits of Passiflora foetida. It's used for nervous disorder. So for persons who are having anxiety-related issues or having problems sleeping, then sweet cup is very good for that. It's good for skin infections, right? You can use it green on the skin, or you can dry it and you can add it to the skin for skin infection. And it's also very good for asthma. So this plant is not just useful as a fruit. The leaves and the flower has many benefits. It's from the Passiflora family, same family that passion fruit is from. God's child in real life says, True Talker. Let me put it on the screen. A man have poor circulation in his two legs with sores. What should he take? I guess that's the question. True Talker is asking, what should he take? No, we can't use a one-cap-fit-all approach for persons. For that person, I'd preferably to do a consultation, because again, when we have symptoms, one symptom can be the result of many causes. Good? So again, I want you students to begin to think like that. I want you to think cause, not symptoms, cause, right? We study the symptoms because symptoms is a way that the body speaks to us. So by studying the symptoms, it can give us idea as to the cause. That's the most powerful use of symptoms, right? So we know we use symptoms to just go and say, okay, take this. No, but symptoms can be the result of many causes. And so sometimes we need more information to find out what is the cause. And that is where medical doctors also come in. Traditional, I'm just sharing with you traditionally how our ancestors were able to identify, to diagnose, all right? But it's always good to find out what's happening, and then once you know what's happening, then you will know better what to use. But if you are able to understand how the body talks to us, because here's what happened. As a practitioner of natural medicine, here's my responsibility. I have to look at your symptoms, because symptoms is how the body, through the cells, tell us what it wants. And then that's a half of the equation. The other half of the equation is now when I study plants, plants tell us what it has, what medicines it contains. So it's properly matching what the cells are telling you that they need with what the plants are telling you that they have. So it's like a matching. That's what you're doing in natural medicine. So there's and that's why in our school, and by the way, guys, we do have a school where we go more in depth in this knowledge, in helping persons. So what we're doing now is a surface knowledge, but it can be enough to help persons to help themselves. So in our school, we go more in depth in helping people to understand how to properly do that matching. That's professionally, but it's being able to match what the cells of the body is telling you that it needs with what the plants is telling you that it has. Truth Walker, God's Child is saying, I went to the beach in St. Thomas on Friday and saw some while walking, and we ate some, and they were so yummy. Very good. So, we want to be able to taste and to be able to understand from the taste what the plant is telling you that it has, because by tasting it. So on the chart, for example, let me tell you how it works. For those persons who are medically inclined or scientifically inclined, let me tell you how it works. So for example, we talk about acrid herbs. And acrid herbs are sourish, they're harsh, they're bitter, of a bitter taste. And that taste is the result of compounds that we call flavonoids and essential oils. Salty herbs are salty to slightly salty in taste, or they may taste bland, or what we call fresh. What's responsible for that is mineral salts. So scientists are able, or scientific community are able to tell you what is the name of the compound or compounds that are responsible for the taste. Our ancestors were not able to do that. Right? Our ancestors were not able to do that, but for the most part, our ancestors used their bodies as labs. So now, when we send our blood or our food to lab, right? Our ancestors didn't have those labs. So what they did was that they trained their bodies. Their taste was so developed and so advanced that they were able to determine what are the benefits or what are the uses of these plants, or what is the body saying to me. Remember that even the word diabetes means sweet urine, because back in the days when you go to the doctor would have to taste your urine. The doctor would have to taste your urine, and if it was sweet, they would know that you're diabetic, right? So again, you can also pay attention when you pass your urine. If you see ants or insects going to it to eat, that's one of the signs that you have diabetes. So I'm just stating a point that, one of the ways that our ancestors were able to determine the medicinal uses of plants, as well as the different messages that the cells were sharing, was through tasting. All right. Phyllis is asking, what herbs help with stress? There are a number of herbs that help with stress, and the sweet cup that we just mentioned is one of them. Most herbs of the passion family, passion flower family, helps with stress. They are antidepressants. They help to relax the body. They have sedatives in them. Most herbs that help with stress help with sleeping. Most persons who have problems with stress have problems sleeping. All right. So I'm going to be looking at some of those herbs. Phyllis. Sally says, hold on. Dr. Ben, good night. What is good for sinus and allergies? I'm having allergies. I'm having allergies right now. I don't know, strong allergies right now. But what is good for allergies is, again, when you hear somebody ask a question, before I answer, let me see if the students were paying attention. So Sally is asking, maybe Sally just joined. Dr. Ben, good night. What is good for sinus and allergies? I'm having severe allergies right now. So I want somebody in the class to tell me, how should we first respond to Sally? How should we first respond to Sally? Let me see if you're paying attention. Anybody? How should we first respond to Sally? Sally says that she's having sinus and allergies. Right now, she's having severe allergies. How should we respond to Sally? All right, nobody wants to try. Think cause. Thank you, Cynthia. Think cause. So Sally, before we even answer your question, we want to look at potentially what you are doing presently that might be contributing to that. So let's, and this is where you learn, because sometimes the trigger is right in your house. Phyllis says change your diet. That is if it is diet related. So let's look at what are some of the causes of sinus related flare-ups. So let's start with the first obvious, which is your diet. So are you consuming dairy? Because we don't want to recommend a natural remedy and you're still consuming dairy. We don't want to do that. All right? So dairy is one of the first culprit that we want to eliminate. And then after dairy, we want to look at other culprits, because there's another culprit, apart from dairy, there's another culprit that affects allergies that a lot of persons are not aware of, and it is found in a lot of the foods that we eat. And that, of course, is gluten. All right? A lot of persons are gluten intolerant. They cannot consume gluten. They are intolerant to gluten. So you want to look at your dairy, you want to look at your gluten. So in doing your research, you want to type into Google foods that have dairy. And most of us know dairy foods, milk and cheese and so on. But most persons are not aware of gluten. Now, gluten has become so popular that the food producers are now forced to put on their products, even products that don't contain gluten, but products that have been processed or manufactured in facilities where gluten is processed. That's how powerful gluten is. So you will see labels saying that this food was processed in a facility where gluten was produced. So even though they clean the machine and they sanitize the machine, the gluten is so powerful that it may still be present in what you are eating. And so your allergy may be the presence of gluten. And so what you want to do is you want to get a diary, and you want to, as you eat your foods, you want to take records as to how the body is responding. Anybody learning anything in class today? Anybody learning in class? I hope you have joined our Kinder Wellness community, because I'm going to be giving quizzes. I'm going to be preparing questions, test questions from tonight's show in our Kinder Wellness community. So if you're not yet in our Kinder Wellness community, then you need to download Telegram, then you need to come to the link of this video, and you need to join our Telegram community, because I'm going to quiz you. I'm going to find out if you're paying attention. So there is dairy, there is gluten, and there are also other external factors. For example, there is dust, there is pets. A lot of persons who have allergies because of pets. Oh my goodness, it just came to me that there are just so many allergens. I'm going to go through some allergens this evening. So some persons are allergic to pets. Some persons are allergic to the type of fabric. Some fabrics are some carpets or some rugs. Persons are allergic to them. Some persons may be having allergic reaction because of the flower, the plants that are on the outside. All right? Some persons may be having allergies because of the type of ear dye that they use, right? Because a lot of the ear dyes have unnatural chemicals in them, and so a lot of persons may be having allergic reaction because of the ear dye. Some persons may be having allergic reaction because of the type of lotion they use, the type of soap that they use, the type of cologne that they use, fragrance. I mean, so many. The list goes on and on and on. I mean, I could literally talk maybe for another hour on just the type of allergies. And so you want to identify your allergen. Then you want to eliminate that. The last thing that you want to do is you want to identify the plants that can fix the problem. See that? The last thing that you want to look at is the natural remedy for the problem. The first thing that you want to do is identify the possible lifestyle habits that cause the problem. Our greatest enemy is not sickness nor disease. I don't know if somebody heard what I just said. Our greatest enemy is not sickness, nor is it disease. So cancer is not your greatest enemy. Diabetes is not your greatest enemy. Stomach acidity, stomach problems, these are not your greatest enemies. As a matter of fact, these are your friends. Cancer is your friend. Arthritis is your friend. Kidney stones is your friend. Gallstone is your friend. Most of these natural diseases are your friend. And you say, teacher, why are these my friend? Because they are so uncomfortable. They are your friend because this is how the body communicates to you to tell you that something is wrong. Most of what we call disease or discomfort is the result of an escalation from the body to get your attention that something is wrong. Our greatest enemy is not our disease. Our greatest enemy is our habit. If we are able to successfully transfer the hatred that we have for our habits, for our diseases, if we are able to transfer the fear that we have for our diseases to our habits, we would be okay. So, I want you to think in the form of root cause. And so the last thing that we think about, the absolutely last thing that we think about is habit. Most of you that are on right now that are sick, you would be amazed that your sickness gives me insight into your habits. Your sickness gives me insight into the habit that you have. Based on your sickness, I can know what types of food you love. Based on your sickness, I can know if you have pets or if you don't have pets, or where you live, if you live in an industrialized area where there is smog or smoke, or whether you live in the country. Your habits speak so much about you. And so if there's anything that you want to hate, it's your habit. So all the problems that you can identify, prostate enlargement, gallstone, liver, cancer, all of those that you can identify as your problems are really your friend. And so it's very important for us to get to the bottom of this. It's very important for me to emphasize this. Very important. Why? Because most of the persons who come to me, most of the persons who say that they are sick don't know. They have no idea that they don't want to get better, which is very important. Very important that when I'm going to take on a case, it's very important for me to find out, do you want to get better or do you want to feel better? Because there's a big difference. Do you want to get better or do you want to feel better? As a matter of fact, most people don't know the difference. Most people who want to feel better think that they want to get better. Can you imagine that? Most people who think that they want to get better don't know that it's not what they want to get better, it's feel they want to feel better. And here's how we know. When we start the process of getting better, once people feel better, they want to know how soon they can go back to the habit that got them sick in the first place. Most people don't want to change their habit, they just want to feel better. Most people want to have their bad habits and good health. That's like an oxymoron. The two can't cohabit together. You can't have bad habits and good health. If you have bad habits, you're going to have bad health. If you have good habits, you're going to have good health. And I know this is controversial because some persons may say, but I eat well, but that's not the sum total of your habits. Some people eat well, but they don't exercise. Some people eat well, but they don't get enough sleep. Some people eat well, but they have poor mental state. Some people eat well, but they have bad relationships. Some people eat well, but they live a stressful life. Your habit is not just comprising of what you eat. Your habit is consisting of so many other things. We haven't even gone to the spiritual side of it. Some people have a good spiritual life, but bad eating habits. That's why you have spirit-filled, anointed preachers with diabetes. That is why you have spirit-filled prophets with cancer. That is the reason why we have anointed men and women with dangerous lifestyle habits. That is the reason why we are only able to resolve all the issues, because if the problem is of a spiritual nature, it needs spiritual resolution. If it is of a physical nature, it needs physical resolution. That is why one of the platform that I look for is congregation. And by the way, I'm coming to Florida. I'm coming to Florida and I have not gotten a location yet in Florida to share from. I'm looking for a platform to share from. Every church, every mosque, every temple should be a platform to share from. Because what's happening is that mosques and churches and temples are only resolving or dealing with the spiritual component of the man or the woman. They're not dealing with the physical or the emotional component of a person. So when we talk about habit, we're not just talking about food alone. We're talking about all that encapsulates being a human being. All that encapsulates being a human being. So to answer your question, what is good for? I don't know if you're kind of seeing what I'm saying. It's very difficult. I mean, I've gone off track, guys. Let's go back to the video. Oh my goodness. I'm going to be here for
It's
so
good for the
long.
nerves.
Let's go back to the
leaves
video, guys.
are good for the nerves.
Let's go back to the video.
All right, so these are phenomenal herbs that we're finding. So we're up to what? How many herbs so far?
4.
4. All right. So we're in the town of Laos, and we're just walking along this street side here to see how many herbs we can identify that are also found in Jamaica. We found 4 so far.
Nettle, guaco.
We found Spanish needle,
Oh yeah.
guaco, castor, castor bean plant, and
Mimosa pudica.
mimosa pudding. Here's another one. Many people would be surprised that this is a herb that is used for cold. It's used to remove mucus on the body. And it's called Search Me Heart. No, Jack in the Bush, sorry, not Search Me Heart. I was confused. So this is called Jack in the Bush. So Jack in the Bush is also found in Laos.
And this is good for?
Mucus. We use
Mucus.
we use it for removing cold.
All right, so that is our next plant. It's actually plant number 5, Jack in the Bush. Chromalina odoranta. And it's very prevalent here in Laos, guys. I'm still in Laos. I'm actually doing this recording, this presentation from Laos. That's in Asia. I want to say that, you know, I'm so delighted. I'm so pleased for the reception that I've received here in Laos. You'll be seeing a lot of videos coming out on our channel as it relates to Laos and the plants here in Laos. But this plant, the Jack in the Bush, you know, many Jamaicans are accustomed to seeing this plant being used as a tea. We're accustomed to our grandparents or our parents giving it to us as a plant, as a tea. It has excellent antimicrobial benefits. So it's good for wound healing. It can be used externally. It can be used for antimicrobial reasons. Persons have bacteria. It can be used for that. It is what is called hemostatic. So it's good for the blood. It's rich with antioxidant and inflammatory. And it's good as a platelet. It's platelet protective. So it's good for the white blood cells of the body. It's also anti-cancer. It's hypoglycemic, so it helps with diabetes. It helps to regulate blood sugar. It's insecticidal, so it can be used. You can soak it in water and you can spray it in the garden as a natural insecticide. And it is anemic, so because it's loaded with iron. So so many benefits of this plant. It's not only good for as a tea. It's also good. It's also good for the tea. Tickle Limika says, "Good night, Dr. Ben, and all on board. I'm just in for the first time. Blessings. Thank you for joining us. Tell us where you're joining us from. Tackle Lim Kwa. Tell us where you're joining us from. Telling us where you're joining us in class from. If you've not yet joined our Kinder Wellness community, please, there's going to be if there's a link in the live now, there is going to be a link in the description, because from this evening show, I'm going to be asking questions. All right, so let's continue. We're going to look at herb number 6.
So that's how many? 5?
That's 5.
Right. We want to see how many we can find, how many more we can find. So, and if you notice, these are herbs that are constantly reoccurring. There are other herbs, like this herb. That's here a lot. Many persons who are watching would know this herb. Let's look at the leaf. This is marigold. It's a vegetable also, but it's used for inflammation. It's used, you can break it up into a juice, green, that's macerated, and put it on anywhere in the body where you have pain. Huh? Anywhere in the body where you have pain.
Let's take some of that.
All right, let's take some.
All right, so this is one of my favorite herbs. We actually harvested some of this. We brought it home and we made a salad from it. So a lot of these herbs that we harvested on this particular herb walk, we harvested. Lemqua says, I'm in New Jersey, but originally from John Rock. Welcome, Tackle Kwamwa. Am I Takilimqua? Takilemqua. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, but we actually harvested a number of these herbs. I have a lot of it on my property. Marigold, Widelia tribulata, and the leaves and the stem and the flower are medicinal, and it is an excellent source of anti-inflammatory medicine. It's also a salty herb, which means that it helps with calcification. And then you hear me talking a lot about calcification because we've seen so much diseases that has resulted from calcification. We talk about cause. I talk about bad habits. We talk about the oil that you consume. The oil that you consume. The oil that you consume is actually one of the biggest source of calcification in the body. If you want to prove it, I want you to go to any restaurant. Go to any restaurant. And when you go to the restaurant, don't just enjoy inside of the restaurant. I want you to find where the restaurant vent is. The vent that takes the heat out of the kitchen. And I want you to look at the vent. In some restaurants, at the back of it, you cannot believe the amount of plaque that is on the wall. And for those some persons who cook, if you look over your stove, all of that plaque that sometimes you have to use a knife to scrape off, it goes on as a liquid. But when it cools, it becomes hardened. The same thing that it is doing on the wall, that it is doing on your stove, it's doing inside your blood vessels. So it's causing the blood vessels to become hardened, because here's what happened. The body only does two things well. The body heals and the body protects itself very well. So when there is excess cholesterol in the body, when there is excessive cholesterol in the body has to find somewhere to put that cholesterol. And so what the body sees is that the body sees that it has miles upon miles of blood vessels. So what the body does is that the body parks all of this cholesterol on the walls of the miles of blood vessels that we have. And it does that as in a way of dealing with the excessive cholesterol buildup that is in our body. So a lot of those persons who are having poor circulation, who are having swelling in their legs, numbness in their fingers, poor slight lightheadedness and giddiness, it is the result of an excessive buildup of cholesterol. And so once the cholesterol begins to build up in the blood vessels, it causes the blood vessels to become rigid. They can't expand. They can't dilate and expand as they should. The result of that is that the pressure inside the blood builds up. Notice when you get blood pressure medication, most persons have as much as 3 different types of blood pressure medication. There's a reason why the doctor gives you different types of blood pressure medication. It is because there are different causes of high blood pressure. So the doctor may give you an ACE inhibitor. The doctor may give you a calcium channel blocker, right? The doctor may give you different classes of medicine depending on why they think you are having high blood pressure. And so it's important that you understand that high blood pressure is not just one reason. There are many different reasons that contribute to high blood pressure. But one of the main reasons is from the oil that we consume. So just think about it. Monday when you went to work, you ate fried chicken. You know what happened? Just begin to take a note. Have a diary and begin to take a note of certain foods, how often you consume them. So you have cholesterol. You use oil in the morning, oil in the evening, and you may use oil Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Just imagine doing that for 15 or 20 years. What happens to the body? there's a tremendous buildup of plaque. And when because the plaque takes a long time to be resolved, most people eat themselves into poor circulation over the last 5 years. Most persons eat themselves into that condition over the last 10 years. And they want you to give them a medicine to resolve it in 1 month. I want you to look how unfair people are. Sometimes persons will go to a medical doctor or they will go to a natural practitioner and they get some medicine. And they say that man, the medicine not good, that man not good, and know nothing because a 1 month now, 2 months now, me take the medicine. And you don't do nothing for me. But you took 10 years to eat yourself into that condition. And you expect to take some herbal medicine for 1 month and get better? Don't work like that. Because the cholesterol that builds up on your wall didn't take a month. It took months for it to reach there. We can reverse it naturally. But I needed to understand what caused it. It was a habit that caused it. It wasn't even a food. It was the habitual consumption of cholesterol over a period of time that caused that. Now, let me just say, Gene, I'm going to respond to you. Let me just say that the diseases that we have that took a long time to be arrived at, took us a long time to arrive at them. When we don't understand the function of habit in the formation of diseases, we end up thinking that all we need is something to take to resolve it. I'm not out to sell products. I'm not here to sell products. I could have talked about products. I've been talking all along and I've mentioned one product. I'm not here to sell products. I'm here to sell solution. I'm here to resolve your issues at the root. And I'm honestly telling you that what you are going to need is a habit adjustment. So what you need is a habit audit. We need to audit our habits. When we begin to audit our habits, we begin to realize what is the challenge. Here's a post from somebody who just joined us. Herbs of Yah. That's a good channel to check out, by the way. Herbs of Yah is a good channel to check out. I've visited your channel before, Herbs of Yah, and you have some excellent content. So this is a channel that you need to check out because he's one of the persons that is contributing to the fight. He says, real talk, I am with you, my brother. What is going to happen to the citizens of Jamaica? Will they ever have anything for themselves? Foreign invasions and greedy government. Jenny says, Dr. Ben, it is said that coconut oil is bad to consume because it's high in bad cholesterol. Is that true? Oh my mind. I'm 1 hour and 19 minutes into the live. I've looked at how many plants? 6 plants? 5. And I'm supposed to review 22 plants. When are we going to go to bed tonight? When are we going to go to bed tonight? So let me take Jenny's question. Dr. Ben, it is said that coconut oil is bad to consume because it's high in bad cholesterol. Is that true? How do I answer this question? Well, first of all, it's not true. It's not true. But it can be true. It's not true, but it can be true. So we were taught, and we were in the 1970s, the powers, what we call it, capitalists, villainized coconut oil. Now I'm going to talk within the context of Jamaica. Prior to the 70s, in the 1960s, the only oil that we knew in Jamaica was coconut oil. This was the oil that our grandparents sold, some of us, I know my great-grandmother, Aunt Goban, here in Clarendon, my mother's grandmother. This was the oil that she sold. And we didn't have much cholesterol issues problem. Matter of fact, we had a very thriving coconut industry and coconut business here in Jamaica. Then came the need to sell an alternative oil in Jamaica. What eventually followed was criminal. An assault was launched on coconut oil to say that coconut oil is not good for us and that the alternative was vegetable oil, aka soybean oil. So the Jamaican market was flooded with soybean oil. And it's sad because we Jamaicans are too quick to give up what we have and to take what we don't know. So we quickly gave up coconut oil, and in turn, we took up soybean oil at the same time to ensure that we bought soybean oil. Mysteriously, the coconut trees in Jamaica started to die from a disease. So it was kind of funny. At the same time that a new oil was introduced, which is vegetable oil, the coconut industry was also being wiped out by a mysterious disease. So Jamaicans were now forced to purchase vegetable oil. As a matter of fact, even up until now, if you go in more supermarkets, you will find that the most common oil and the most affordable is vegetable oil. But what type of vegetable oil is this? Where did this vegetable oil come from? How was this vegetable oil made? The vegetable oil that was introduced to Jamaica, not long after Jamaicans started to experience that, because not long after the oil started to be used in Jamaica, it was not long after that we had the chain of fast foods being introduced to Jamaica. I want you to understand how we have been systematically, selectively, we have been selectively and systematically targeted. I want Jamaicans to understand that we're experiencing a food war. We're in a food war and we're losing the war because our enemies are feeding us. This is much more than just our health. We are in a food war where they are now making available to us affordable food that makes us sterile, that prevents us from having children, that shortens our lifespan, that affects the underlying productivity of a nation. Because one of the reasons why I'm going to segue, one of the reasons why I'm doing this, somebody may ask me, why are you doing this? How do you benefit? How do you benefit from giving all of this free information away? How do I benefit? I benefit by the fact that when you have a sick nation, when a nation becomes sick, the burden of the nation falls on the healthy. When a nation becomes sick, the burden of taking care of that nation falls on the healthy few within that nation. Now, if you intend to be healthy, understand that there is going to be a penalty. How many persons remember chikungunya? Some of you were teachers who didn't get chikungunya, had more classes to teach when most teachers were sick. If you worked in a company, you had more work to do if more of your staff members or if business colleagues were sick. And so it's very important for us to understand that. But going back to the question about coconut. Coconut is excellent because coconut contains what is called MCT. Now studies are revealing that coconut is not only good, but coconut is good for the brain. Because 75% of the brain is cholesterol. So when you have diseases that affect the brain, they're now realizing that not only is coconut oil, because here's what, they didn't tell us that there's two types of cholesterol. There's what is called HDC, which is high density HDL, sorry, which is high density lipoprotein. And there is LDL, which is low density lipoprotein. So cholesterol is a type of protein. What is protein used for? Protein is used by the body to repair the body. So the brain, which is mostly made up of cholesterol, unlike anywhere else in the body, needs more fat-soluble protein than anywhere else in the body. It so happens that this protein is found in coconut oil. And so for Alzheimer's, which is a disease that affects the brain, they are now recommending MCT oil, coconut oil, cold pressed coconut oil. Because by the way, when we consume oils, oils were never intended to be consumed after they were eaten. So the vegetable oil that was introduced on the market was the result of oil being extracted using heat. As humans, also, we need very little cholesterol, very little oil, because just think about the body. Just think about the body. There is only one part of the body that needs a lot of oil, and that is the brain. All right? So what happens is that we are supposed to get our oils naturally from nuts and seeds and grains. So in the plant kingdom, in the natural world, in the natural realm, in the natural kingdom, we are supposed to obtain our fats from cashews and almonds and coconut. This is where we're supposed to get it. We're supposed to get it in its natural stage, raw. So we're not supposed to, and that is the reason why the closest you see this big craze about cold pressed oil, because cold press is the closest natural form of extracting the oil to you actually eating the nut. That's why reason why cold pressed oils. So when you eat your food, you should have the cold pressed oil sprinkled over the food, because oils are rich in enzymes. Apart from the LDL, the lipoprotein, the high density lipoprotein and the low density lipoprotein, the next thing that is found in oil that is beneficial to us is enzymes. And enzymes are essential to carry out body functions. So cold pressed coconut oil is actually very good for you. Cold pressed avocado oil is also very good for you. Cold pressed olive oil is also very good for you. You want to get your oils in the cold pressed form. All right, let's move on.
And so consulting our herb chart. So this is our herb chart. Now let me see, I want to see how much Yassar knows, because I've been talking to Yassar on the chat about the chart. So Yassar, this herb is salty. It's salty. And we call herbs that are not, that taste, in Jamaica we call it bland or fresh. We consider those as salty herbs. All right? So on the chart, if it is that somebody had a problem, because this chart not only tells us the uses of the herb, is still running? But it also tells us what diseases, all right? So we have air, we have fire, we have earth, and we have water. Good? So a person, this is a salty herb. So we look here, this is called a salty herb. And salty herbs, salty to slightly salty taste, are bland. Good? And effect on the tissues of the body. What's the effect on the tissues on the body? They are nourishing. They nourish the body. So salty herbs provide nourishment to the body. The saltiness that you're tasting is actually the presence of mineral salts. That's why it tastes salty. And what it does is that it's nourishing, it breaks up masses, and it gently detoxifies the cells of the body. So when a person is very sick and ill, this is an example of other herbs these are herbs that person should be eating and juicing in order to get better. So for about 90 days, about 90 days, these are herbs that persons should be consuming, because what these herbs do, they become the building blocks of the cells of the body, because our cells are renewed ever so often. Some cells are renewed every 15 days, some every 30 days. So it means that you're going to have to take, if a cell renews in 30 days, it means that you're going to have to take this for 30 days for this to be the new material to reproduce that cell in the body. You understand? All right, let me go again. Our cells are the basic building blocks of the body. Good? Now, the quality of your cells is determined by the quality of the raw materials that made the cells. So when you put food in your mouth, or when you put something in your mouth, whatever you put in your mouth is going to be a part of the ingredient that the body used to make new cells, because we have new cells. Now, if it is that you are sick, there's a high chance that the cells in the body are faulty, they are damaged. So one of the things that we need to do is that we need to renew those cells. We need to make new cells. Some different parts of the cells take different time to be made, brand new. Some cells take 30 days. Some cells take 10 days. Some cells take 15 days. So what I'm saying is that you would have to eat this. If a cell took 30 days to be renewed, to become new again, you'd have to eat this plant for 30 days so that this plant would be the raw material for the body for 30 days to make those new cells. Understand?
Yes.
Because the old cells is what is diseased. That's what causing the pain or the discomfort. So for somebody who has arthritis, it is because those cells are calcified. Let's give an example. If you're having arthritis in your elbow, let's say it's going to take 30 days for your cells to become new. You're going to have to consume that plant for 30 days. So in 30 days, that arthritis pain is going to go, because after 30 days, you're going to get new cells in your bone. So the goal is to provide the body with raw material so that for the next, for the period of time that it takes the body to create new cells, this will be the raw material. Now, for almost every cell in the body, no cell in the body takes as long as 90 days to be renewed. That is the reason why we recommend a 90-day program. So we tell persons you can't do it once, you can't do it for 10 days. So what I do is I encourage persons to do it 10 days at a time. So you do 10 days, break for 2 or 3 days, 10 days again, break for 2 or 3 days, 10 days again, break, just like that, until the cells become renewed. And during the time that you break, it's not that you put garbage in. Huh? Yep. So that's basically what we do. All right, so let me just comment on that. Let me just first of all correct a statement I made that no cells take as much as 30 days. Some cells may even take far longer than that. For example, the cells of the bone. The cells of the bone can take as long as 15 years to be corrected. Now, based on all of what I just said, it explains why two things are possible. One, nearly all diseases can be reversed. Doesn't matter how, what the disease is. However, let me add to that even though all diseases are reversible, some diseases may not be reversible because of the advanced state that it is in. All right, let me say that again. Even though all diseases are natural diseases, not man-made diseases, even though all diseases are reversible, some diseases may not be able to be reversed, not because it's not reversible, but because of how advanced it is. So if it is that we allow a disease to reach a very advanced state, it may not be possible to reverse it, not because it's not a reversible disease, but because we allowed it to go too far. All right, number one. Number two, how that works is that the quality of your health is based on the basic unit, the health of the basic unit of the body, which is the cells. Now, the cells that you have, or the quality of the cells that you have, are determined by the quality of the raw material that made them. So if it is, and I'm going to answer all the questions in the chat, starting from the top. I think the last one was
coconut, would you say that sunflower seeds oil are okay? All right, so I'm going to start from there. But let me just make this point. The quality of your body is determined by the quality of your cells. The quality of your cells is based on the raw material, the quality of the raw material that made them. So if poor quality raw material was used to make your cells, then your cells are going to be of poor quality. If high quality raw material was used to make your cells, then your cells are going to be of high quality. Now, I want you to listen to me because it's very important. Doesn't matter how sick you are, most of you that are listening, most of you can, even if you can't be totally or fully reversed, your health can be improved. So, for some of you, quite honestly, it may not be fair to say that you're going to get back your health 100%. That may be an unfair goal to try to achieve. What might be fairer is to improve the quality of your health because you've been in this state for so long, right? So what might be a fair goal would be to improve the quality of your health. Now, this is why this is possible. Now, in your body, our cells divide in order to create new cells. So let us say on the first day of the month, you didn't know what we are talking about. So you were eating poor quality food up until that point, which meant that your cells were 100% of poor quality. You started to get the knowledge. You started to be exposed to the truth. And you decided that you want to change. You want to get better. And you started to eat high quality food. And I'll talk about what is high quality food. You start to eat high quality food. And the minute you start to eat high quality food, you started to eat high quality food for 10 days. Let us, for example, say that every 10 days, we're going to focus on a particular cell. Hypothetically, let us say the quality of your eye. Let us say every 10 days, the cells that make up your eyes are renewed every 10 days. So after 10 days of eating high quality food, what happens on the 11th day when the cell splits into two is that that cell is no longer going to be made of 100% bad cells. It's going to be made up of 50% bad cells because you're eating high quality food. And so the high quality food has now resulted in the cells being improved by 50%. You ate high quality food for another 10 days, which means that when this cell that was 50% improved, duplicates or splits into two, you're now going to have cells that are 25% improved in quality. So after 3 months of eating high quality foods, because the cells are renewed, hypothetically, I'm using a hypothetical figure here, you are now cells that were 100% bad that are now 25% improved. And you get the gist. As you continue to eat high quality food, as it becomes a habit, the cells that are being renewed at a higher quality. And because the cells are being renewed at a higher quality, your health is being improved. Now you understand what we mean about habit. So you have to ask yourself the question, if you practice a habit for 30 days of eating high quality food and you felt better, is it that you wanted to feel better or do you want to get better? Because if for 30 days your cells improved by 25%, why wouldn't you want to continue the habit that did that? If you don't want to, it just shows that all you wanted to do was just feel better. It's a hard nut to swallow, but it's the truth. You didn't want to get better. You were just interested in knowing what you need to know to feel better, not get better. That's the harsh reality that we have to deal with, because It's not all your fault. A lot of the foods that have been created with chemicals in them for you to eat them habitually. So that's one thing you need to know. A lot of the foods that you are eating, it's not that you have an innocent desire for sugar. It's not that you have an innocent desire for food with MSG. These foods, a lot of the foods that you eat habitually are not being eaten out of a genuine habit. The habit that you have and the desire that you have for these foods were the results of habit-forming chemicals that were placed in them. The people who produce foods are especially targeting children. Gone are the days when we would go to school and our parents would prepare our lunch. Mothers who don't prepare your lunch, people who don't prepare your lunch and go to work. You are exposing yourself to be a victim of food with habit-forming chemicals in them. That is the reason why you keep going back to these fast food chains. A lot of the ingredients have habit-forming chemicals in them. There's a reason why they have amassed the wealth and amassed the following that they have across multiple borders. How is it that one food chain becomes a food chain of choice in Africa, in Japan, in Curacao, in Africa, in all of these countries? It's not innocently, it's not by habit, it's by design. The ingredients have habit-forming chemicals in them that we call them excitatory. That when you eat them, they affect your brain in such a way, it creates a sensation in your brain that allows you to keep on coming back. So I want you to understand that. So I'm after habits. My goal is not to be on this platform to just talk about herbs. I want to help you to identify what is the problem, what is causing you to get sick. So let me deal with Jean's question. The question from, was it? Okay, Desireen. So Desireen's question is, so would you say that sunflower seeds are oil? Would you say that sunflower seeds oil are okay for the body, sir? Now, the question is sunflower found naturally in nature? Because that's another can of worm. We should aim to eat the foods that are found naturally in nature, and sunflower is not one of those. Sunflower was genetically modified. So sunflower by nature is designed to be acidic. So I wouldn't recommend sunflower oil. Anywhere you go in the world and at any remote island, you will see coconut. You'd go to the most remote part of the world and you wonder who bring it there. Coconut is there because it's a natural plant. Mike Robinson wants to know, what about hemp protein? Meat, poultry, and fish, a source of combined fat and protein. Also, our hormones and liver require cholesterol. So yeah, we require cholesterol. But hemp protein, hemp is from marijuana, natural plant again. Meat, poultry, and fish. Meat, poultry, and fish, as long as the meat is of a natural source. As long as the meat, even though we should thrive to be primary consumers of vegetables, we realize that you can be a secondary consumer of vegetables, which is by eating plants and primary eat vegetables. So if the fish and if the chicken and if the bird is a primary consumer of vegetables, because of my faith, so I'm going to speak from my faith perspective. I'm of the Hebraic faith. So I'm going to talk about those meats that the scriptures indicate to be clean. Then, of course, they can be eaten if it is that they eat clean foods. Jenny says, would the moringa plant be considered to be salty? Yes. Salty. The leaves are salty. So it's a high source of nutrients. All right. Moringa is a high source of nutrients. Desiree. All right. So let's go back to our video.
So if you look here again, you'll see a nice patch of marigold. Right?
Same, right?
Yes, it's the same marigold. So it's a vegetable, it can be cooked as well. Look at what they found in Laos. Do you know this herb? This is called amaranth, or in Jamaica we call it callaloo. So this is actually a vegetable again. Now, look at the road where we were. Just shine the camera up there and look at the amount of free vegetable we just found. So there's no need for persons to be hungry. Imagine that. And this is not just vegetable, this is quality vegetable. Because this is all grown in nature, this is all alkaline. Alright? So we want people in Laos to know that you can eat healthy just by eating these plants. So that's
Alright, so that's callaloo. All right, that's callaloo, and that's a green callaloo because on this Herbwalk we actually found 2 callaloo. I'm going to go into the 2 callaloo because they actually serve different functions. Callaloo is from the amaranth family, and there are so many different types of amaranth. Amaranth is traditionally grown for its seeds. In Jamaica, we don't see, and most part of the West, we don't see a lot of people eating amaranth, but in the East, it's quite a staple. But apart from the nutritional benefit of amaranth or callaloo, it has a number of medicinal uses. And so the green callaloo is anti-inflammatory. So it aids in removing inflammation from the body. It's also diuretic, so it helps the urinary tract, and it helps with a number of venereal diseases. It also helps with lowering fever, right? It also helps with lowering fever because it is a vermifuge. It has vermifuge properties. It is anti-rheumatic, so it helps persons who have rheumatic ailments. It is anti-ulcer, so for persons who have ulcer, bad stomach, this is a herb that's also very good for that. It is analgesic, means that it helps with pain, management. It is analgesic, so it helps with pain management. It is anti-emetic, so it helps with, to some extent, to a lesser extent, it helps with removing parasites from the body. It's a laxative. How many persons know that when you eat callaloo, it gives you a very good bowel movement because of the amount of fiber in it? It also helps to improve appetite, and it's a treatment for respiratory as well as eye problem, and it also helps with asthma. So it has so many benefits. It's not just a plant that is edible. It has so many other benefits as well, and it grows wild. It grows wild. It grows in the wild. I was talking to Yassar about think about it because it dawned on me. It dawned on me. Why is it that people plant? Because we were there on the roadside and we saw so many wild foods, so many free foods. Why is it that people walk past free foods that are of a higher food quality, and we go to the market to buy foods that are of a lower quality and we have to actually pay for them? Think about that question for a while. Why is it that we pass free foods that are of the highest quality and we go to the market to purchase foods that is poisonous? You know why? It's because we've allowed somebody to define our foods. Again, it's a habit. It's a habit. And so it's important that we understand that, because our habit is to go to the market to get our vegetables. It's a bad habit. A bad habit is going to the market to get vegetables. And we know that it is being promoted. It's that most of the vegetables in the market, guess where the seeds come from? The seeds come from farm stores. Guess where the farm store gets them from? The farm store gets them from labs where they are genetically modified. So capitalism, a capitalist system decided what are our food, what are our vegetables. Because capitalism knows that if you can create a limited list of what is considered vegetable, not only have you defined food, but when you create scarcity of those seeds or scarcity of those foods, you are determining the price of those foods. So just imagine, maybe that's the reason why I wasn't supposed to do the presentation this evening, because all of this was what I planned to share. So I actually found it very difficult to come on tonight. I want to apologize to Chief Curry because I'm just going to go with the flow. So Chief Curry was supposed to be on tonight. The topic is My Room Chief speaks on preserving cockpit country and natural resources. I may have to extend this one presentation to a 4-hour or 8-hour presentation because I have to use this platform to get the truth out. A capitalist system decided to decide what constitutes our food. They have been successful because they have allowed us to walk past what is far more nutritious and what is free to go to the market to purchase what they created that is expensive. That's one of the habits that contributes to why people are sick. A lot of the people that I see, I realize that even though they have chosen to eat vegetables, there's a high presence of pesticide residue in their bloodstream. A lot of people who are sick because of the presence of high pesticide residues in their bloodstream. So that's a habit to think about. That's a habit to think about. And so what I'm saying is not just eat fruits and vegetables, eat wild vegetables, brethren. Students, you need to get comfortable with eating wild vegetables. You don't have to plant it. You don't have to worry about theft. All you need to know is what is edible in a particular state, and it's free. And then I can show you the vast variety that nature has to offer. Once something is man-made, it's limited. Because when something is limited, that's what creates scarcity. Scarcity is what creates demand, and demand is what drives price. And if you understand what I'm saying to you. So we have become the victims of a system that keeps us sick. So while we think we're eating healthy because we're going to the market to get the vegetables, a lot of the vegetables that we're getting, even sometimes it is organic vegetables, organically grown, it is genetically modified. So we try to eat. So the persons who gets us sick, they just watch us and laugh. And they watch us trying to grow organically, genetically modified food. So pity him. Don't know any better. He's limited to 5 vegetables or 6 vegetables: cabbage, pak choy, callaloo, broccoli, kale. When nature has an abundance of free vegetables that doesn't have any pesticide, that it is alkaline and it's far more beneficial for us. And that is what our bodies need to get healed. So for persons who have cancer, for persons who have some chronic ailments, I recommend at least 3 months of juicing these vegetables. I want you to test, just try it and see what happens. Anybody that is on this platform, you can come back and tell us if it don't work. Just get some organically grown, not organically, some wild vegetables. And for at least 3 months, just begin to juice your vegetables and drink it and see what happens to your health in 3 months.
gone off tangent again. Gone off tangent again. And we haven't even started talking about the alkaline spices. When you go into nature, you're going to see a whole heap of spices that are alkaline. I can show you a whole heap of spices that are alkaline. We're going to try to find some of those alkaline spices. So not only are there alkaline foods, there are alkaline spices as well. Tackle says, Dr. Yes, Dr. Amaranth comes in various descriptions, red, yellow, prickle. No, we don't want to go to the yellow. We don't want to go down to the yellow. We want to talk about the red is natural and the prickle are natural. There are some that are called prickle. The prickle amaranth is actually good for pain. The red amaranth is good for the blood. Amaranth is also being used for the hair, for treatment of the hair and treatment of the blood. A lot of persons who have blood impurities, amaranth is good for that, especially the red amaranth. I've never seen a yellow amaranth in nature. I've seen the red amaranth and I've seen the prickle amaranth, and there are different varieties of the prickle amaranth. There are some prickle amaranth or prickle callaloo that run, and there are some prickle callaloo that are erect. Some parts of St. Elizabeth you will find it. Very nutritious. Let's move on. Taklima says again, Dr. Ben, Jack in the bush, pepper LR, joint, trumpet leaves, search me hard, among others, good for bronchitis, asthma. Remember, giving such herbs to help my mother back then. So yeah, so pepper elder is actually a seasoning as well. It's also one of the natural seasonings. So pepper elder leaf and the flower of the pepper elder, or the seasoned pepper elder, is also a seasoning. Just like our black pepper. Black pepper comes from the same family that pepper elder comes from, or from the piper family. And there are quite a number of plants from the piper family that are seasonings that can be dried and they can be used as seasonings. And most of them, they are anti-inflammatory. Trumpet leaf, search me hard. All of these are anti-catarrh, meaning they break up mucus in the stomach. Very good. For lack of knowledge, people perish. Let me go further. I want to take all the comments. This is, oh my goodness. This is Vibing with the Natural. Vibing with the Natural says, yes, I see Jamaicans living in Jamaica buying and eating imported garbage food from here. Plant in your backyard like we used to do. Stop buying the imported garbage. Very good. Because that is what has resulted in so many people being sick. So the ideal vegetable, especially if you're sick, is wild vegetables. Desireen is asking, Desireen Forbes, how do you prepare these natural vegetables? Desireen, I've done some videos. I'm here, I've done some videos, and I'm going to share some of those videos. You can prepare them two ways. And generally, you can prepare them live, or you can prepare them stir fry, or what we call it, lightly steamed, because you want to keep the enzymes alive. How is a big question. Jean Stoney asked the question, Dr. Ben, have you heard about is it Paget's disease of the bones? No, never heard about it. So you'll maybe have to maybe share with us how it affects you, because again, in the body, no disease exists as a label. Good? No disease exists as a label. Blockages are imbalances. So, you know, tell me how it's affecting you, and I can share. Taklima is saying, I'm surprised now to find that some rural folks, especially some youths, cannot identify true stick plants. That is so true. And Jean says, Dr. Ben, can you say if carrot is a GMO product? Yeah, carrot is genetically modified as well. Definitely genetically modified. All right, so let's continue, guys. Plant number what? 6?
6.
All right. Here's another herb. I think we're gonna be seeing lots of this herb. This is called the spider plant. It's called the spider plant. So I'm gonna look I'm gonna look if I can find some that are more mature so we can show persons the flower. Because it produces a kind of flower that gives you an idea. The marigold also produces yellow flower, and this is telling us that it's also good for the urinary tract systems, good for the kidneys.
All right, so that's the spider plant, and there's two of them. We're actually going to be seeing two of them on our walk. This is the Cleum spinosa, scientific name for this one. And as we go further, we're going to be seeing the Cleum viscosa. All right, and we'll talk about the difference between the Cleum viscosa and the the purple one that we're actually looking at now. And so the Cleum spinosa, or spider plant, is also a food. It's also edible. As a medicine, when it matures, when it becomes mature, it's also very good for rheumatism, inflammation, so you can use it on the joints. It's also used for toothache. It's also used for headache. It's also very good for bacterial infections and very beneficial for snake bites. So it's purple because it has lots of iron in it. It's good for the body as well. The pink one, the spinosa. All right, so that one is very good. So let's move on to our next herb.
So on. All right, here's another herb that we're going to be seeing a lot of. This is, whoo, I remember this herb. It's from the Solanaceae family. It's called, I think it's called the Solanaceae herb. But it's from the same family that tomato comes from. This herb is what they genetically modified to make tomatoes. So I'm gonna try and see if I can find a mature plant that has fruits on it and flowers on it, so we can properly show it. So now we need to show a flower from the spider plant over there and the Solanaceae plant.
All right, so this is called a wild Solanaceae. All these plants that we're looking at are found in Jamaica. It's used for the treatment of rash, cold sore. The plant is analgesic, which means that it helps with pain. So, and by the way, this is where tomato. This is what they genetically modified to create tomato that has lycopene in it. It is antispasmodic, so it helps with coughing. It is antiseptic, so it's good for the mouth. It's good for making a mouthwash. It's anti-narcotic, so it helps with fighting addiction to cocaine. So an anti-narcotic helps with that. It's diuretic. It's a laxative. It's also anti-cancer, and it's antimicrobial. So it has so many benefits to the body, this particular plant. And I should say, it's also anti-parasite. So this plant that we see so often, it usually grows up after clearing the land. It is loaded with benefits. And that's the reason why, because what scientists did was that they didn't just genetically modify any food. They looked for food that had certain qualities in it. And they decided, because in deciding what became vegetable or what became food, the base material was very powerful. So all the plants that we have now considered or known to be vegetables, they came from very powerful raw material. So tomato was one of them. And so plants in the Solanaceae family or nightshade family are very, very powerful. Like garden egg is from that same family as well. All right, let's continue.
So here's another herb. And this herb is called scorpion tail. Now, anybody who's watching, and here's some flowers, so we look at that. But this is called the scorpion tail. Now, I've never seen scorpion tail flowers this big in Jamaica. So this is telling me that this, because point the camera down, shine the camera down, look. If you look, everything is dark green. This is telling us that the soil here, and we haven't gone to the woods, we haven't gone to the forest.
All right, so this is the scorpion tail. It's Helitropium angiosperm. And as I was saying in the video, that I've never seen a scorpion tail this big. This is such a huge plant, and not only the scorpion tail. Yassar and I went to a park and we saw a whole bunch of cassava marble. Remember the cassava marble that we saw? And the cassava marble were as tall as 5-6 feet. I have never seen cassava marble that tall. And I don't know if it is because Laos is pretty close to the equator, or if it's the soil, or if it's the fact that Laos is landlocked with so much greenery or moisture in the atmosphere. But the herbs here are really huge. Not only that, but I also realized that the herbs here are very healthy. They are green and very nice. So, you know, when I looked at the herbs here in Laos, what was very obvious to me is the fact that what is found in prevalence here is herbs high in nutrients, which means that the greatest need for the persons in Laos is nutrients dense herbs. And that is so true, because when I look at the lifestyle and the food that are prepared here, they're very acidic. So nature has created in abundance alkaline herbs to resolve that acidity. So if I were to consult with the government of Laos, I would say that the ailments, the sicknesses, and the conditions that Lao people will have are going to be linked to poor nutrition, linked to acidity. But that if they had a campaign where they were to focus on including more vegetables, they would be able to resolve that. And so this herb is very, very powerful as it relates. Traditionally, it was used on wounds. So what you can do is you can actually pound the leaves and you can use it on wounds. It's also very good for skin ulcers. And the juice, so when you pound the plant, when you juice it, you can use the juice as a high drop for conjunctivitis or pink eye. The juice from the leaves, you can use it as an eye drop. The freshly squeezed juice can be dropped in the eye for persons who have pink eye, or it can be used for healing wounds. So very powerful, very, very powerful herb. Taklima, I did not pronounce your name right. But Dr. Ben, besides aloe vera, is aloe ferox type grown in Jamaica? I thought I saw one in Clarendon years ago, but still question, as it said that it is endemic to South Africa. I don't know that type of aloe. I know two types of aloe. I know the aloe arborescens, which is the aloe that produces the red flower, and I know the aloe vera, which is the aloe that produces the yellow flower. The aloe arborescens, which is found a lot in Florida, is a little different from the aloe vera. It doesn't grow that much flesh, or it doesn't grow that big. But the aloe arborescens is 200 times more powerful than the aloe vera. And it grows a red flower because aloe arborescens is good for the blood. It's good for cleansing the blood. There was a monk, Catholic monk, who created a protocol from the aloe arborescens that was made using the aloe arborescens, brandy. I don't remember what it was, but it was used back then to treat cancer. The success was so great that they wanted to make him a saint because of his use of aloe arborescens in treating cancer. But it's a very, very powerful, variety of the aloe vera. All right, so let's continue our herb walk.
This is in the town of Laos. Huh? It should be in the town of Laos. So I want you to look at the size. I want you to look at the leaves of these herbs. And this is telling us that these herbs are very healthy, This is the scorpion tail. It's good for women who are having menstrual challenges, menstrual disorder, all right, menstrual difficulties. And then here is this is a flower. Well, this is purple. It's normally yellow. We're gonna see if we can find some yellow ones. But this herb smells like marijuana. This one is weak. We don't use this one. We use the yellow one, and I'm gonna let you feel it and feel the resin underneath the leaves. Has lots of resin, and to me, somebody look at if somebody has been eating this, cooking this. It's a solanaceae plant. Here it is. Can be used as a vegetable. And guess what, guys? The ground that I'm standing on, I don't know. Come up here, Yafan. Come up here and feel the ground, and tell me what you feel. How does the soil feel that you're standing on?
It's very soft.
Very good. Come up here. Tell me how the soil feel.
A little bit hotter.
And look at that. So this is one of the reasons why these herbs are so precious. They're so. This is actually a form of compost. So this soil, obviously, was taken out of the river, and it was thrown on the banking. So this basically is very fertile soil. This is actually this soil that came from the river has decomposed plant matter in it. So that plant matter becomes humus, and it becomes plant food. So this plant, even though it's on the roadside, this plant is benefiting from very, 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 very fertile soil. That's why it's this soft. It's this soft because when you step on it, the soil is soft, which means that the root of the plant move easily through it. So the roots are very oxygenated. So because the roots have lots of oxygen, that's why they're healthy. That's why it's so important to pay attention to all of this, because this is what determines the quality of the herb that you use. Having this knowledge determines the quality of the herbs that you use. Any questions so far? No question?
Yeah.
How many plants have we gone to look at?
7.
7. Right, so look at this. Look at this. How beautiful it is. Very beautiful. This plant, this one is not doing so good. This is called purslane. That herb is filled with omega-3, omega-6, and omega-9. Now, this has more omega-3, 6, and 9 than fish oil. So this is a herb that's very good for inflammation. It's also a vegetable. I wouldn't want to taste that, but if you were to taste it, it would be salter than all that we have tasted so far. So it's also very good for inflammation. So if you get this herb and you were to pound it, put it over your knee, if you're having knee pain, it will help to dissolve the pain that person's feeling in their knees from arthritis. So this is actually a salty herb. All right?
All right, so that's herb number 11, purslane. All right, that's herb number 11, purslane. And this is a herb that, this was one of the herbs that we harvested and brought home. If you continue to follow our channel, some of the herbs that we harvested in this particular video, we continued to brought them home and we made meals from them. So if you are subscribed to the channel, then those videos are going to come out where we teach persons not only how to harvest, when to harvest, but how to prepare meals from them. I'm having such a wonderful time here in Laos, and I'm doing so many of these videos. I also want to say that if you're joining us for the first time, welcome to our class. This is our free class. It's a part of my Indigenous Caribbean Medicine Initiative. It's a part of my initiative to teach 12,000 people. Imagine, I'm looking for 12,000 people to teach 120 herbs by the 12th month, by December. And I only have 41 persons on the live. I'm looking for 12,000. Well, I'm 2 in the classroom now, but I'm looking for 12,000 people to teach for free. And I only have 41. I want you to send this live to somebody else. Send this live to somebody else. On YouTube, we're at 42. Let's see if we can get it to 60, guys. Let's see if we can, if you're benefiting from the knowledge, let's see if we can get it to 60. Let's try to get 12 more persons on the live. I have a few more plans to go. Let's see if we can get some more persons on the live. While you're watching, just segue and give it a chance just to send this, share. Just share this with somebody. Share this with somebody right now. Because as I said that a lot of the persons who are watching, the greatest weapon against sickness and disease is education, not medication. And one of the lives that I'm coming on, I need to let you, one reason why I've also decided to do this is because, and I could be charging for this, but I want it to be absolutely free because in the next few years, next couple of months to be exact, in the next couple of months, this knowledge that I'm sharing is going to be considered to be misinformation. So they're going to take it down from the channel. There's also some policies in place to shut down places that you can get medicine. So a lot of people don't think this is relevant to them because when the crisis takes place, when they actually get sick, that's where the knowledge, that's when they start to search for the knowledge. But what's going to happen is, so this video that I'm putting out is a video that you should even download. I would recommend that you download this video because it's 2 hours, 60 minutes long. They're going to take down this video in a very short period of time. I actually went through hell to do the recording tonight. I actually wasn't going to because I became discouraged. There are actually plans in the pipeline, policies that are being crafted that is going to put small health food stores out of business because from the last pandemic, they studied and they realized that a lot of persons did not take the recommended joke. They didn't take it because they had alternatives. A lot of them knew what to take, so they ordered it. You wouldn't even know what's coming. There are policies in place by platforms that have the responsibility. We call them those platforms that like I don't want to call it name, but those platforms that allow you to collect money online. What do you call them? No, I don't want to call it name. No, we don't call it name. But the platforms that allow you, e-commerce platforms, are payment gateways. That's the word. The payment gateways that allow persons like myself and other persons to sell natural products. The payment gateways are now, policies are now being put in place for the payment gateways not to collect money for products that are natural based. That's for those who think that they can get it online. For those persons who can walk into a location, there are new policies being crafted that will prevent small producers of supplements. Policies that are being crafted. There are new categories of requirements that will prevent them. It will make it unsustainable for them to continue to produce products. There are new policies that are being crafted that will prevent companies, that will force companies to reduce the quality of their products from therapeutic dose to food grade dose. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying to you. This information that I'm sharing with you may not be important to you now, but I promise you, this may be one of the most sought after videos on the internet. Because there are policies that are on the way. The policies are in the pipeline. So those persons who say, I'm busy now. I don't need to listen to what Dr. Ben is saying. I have far more important things to do. Well, when it becomes important, when you get sick, and you want to purchase the product because you're accustomed to being able to purchase what you want, there are policies being put in place that are going to force e-commerce payment gateways, and it's already in place. There are some of them that I know of that have written to me to tell me that they can no longer process funds for us because of the nature of my business. What do? I provide supplements for persons, and I provide information. So one way of cutting me off is taking away the possibility for me to collect funds. Number of persons are going to face that. Persons who manufacture, small companies who manufacture supplements of high quality. There are policies in place where they are saying that if you continue to produce supplements that you claim to be therapeutic, new laws are being crafted that you are making a health claim. And for those of us, what we were able to do, we were able to escape by saying that this plant was traditionally used for. They are saying that you can't even use that term anymore. Already, they are saying to us that when we make certain statements and do presentations like these, we have to have disclaimers even before we start talk. And if you make any claims, they come for you and hunt you and get rid of you. Now, what is additionally going to happen is that the companies, because there are some large companies that are part of the system, those companies are going to make therapeutic natural products. But because of the requirements involved in making those products, the price is going to be so high that only the rich can afford it. Listen to me. So the only way around that is where you try to learn as much as you can so that you can take care of yourself and take care of your family. That's what it's going to boil down to. You won't be able to go online or go walk into somewhere to get what you need. It will be now the knowledge that you have to go into the wild to get it for yourself. When I realized what was coming, I said, no, I have to get this knowledge out there. That's why I'm on. That is why I'm on. Because I know what is coming. And I know that for those persons who say, oh, if I'm sick, I just reach out to Dr. Ben. Trust me, I won't be available. Because I am making provisions not to be available when that time comes. So, take me now when you have me. And take those persons who have the knowledge when you have them, because when you're going to need the knowledge, they're not going to be around. So that is the reason why I'm on to share with you. We're up to 42. Can't even get 60 people. Can you imagine that? Can't even get 60 people to share this truth with. Because what people want is to hear about other people's lives and to consume the social garbage. But I saw it go. Taki Lemkwa, get it now. Taki Lemkwa says, what that parsley plant used to grow widely in Portmore, perhaps doesn't exist in the quantity that it used to. It's still in Portmore. Guys, we have to press the like button that helps to send up the algorithm so more people could see the information. Thank you very much. Vibing with the natural one. And as I said, vibing with the natural one is also one of the persons who are helping the fight, who's helping to spread the positive vibration, this positive news. So I wanted to share that information with you because a lot of people may take this for granted and think that when they want, this is something else, leave for later. When you want, you can get it. One thing I realize is that I work with a lot of people sick. I work with famous people. I work with wealthy people. And one thing I see is that doesn't matter how wealthy you are, doesn't matter how influential you are, doesn't matter how beautiful you are. When you get sick, nothing matters. When you're sick, nothing matters. Your wealth doesn't matter. Your beauty doesn't matter. Your fame doesn't matter. You're only interested in one thing. What can I do to live? That's all that matters. What can I do to live? Class, that is what I'm sharing with you. The most important thing in life is the knowledge that you need in order to live. Most of you know more about house, your car, your work, other people's business, the affairs of other people than you do about your own health and your own body. Most people are more interested. If tonight's live was about somebody's business, I wouldn't have space. The room would be full. The class would be full. But if it concerns you, your health, you don't have no value. So let's go through quickly because we're 2 hours and 26 minutes in the live. And we want to go and harvest some herbs. I've been sharing your content and what I've learned with friends and family. It's up to them to do what they want with that knowledge. Thank you, nifty friends. Thank you. All right, so let's continue. So let's go down. So that's what? Seven. We're on our way. Guys, we're trying to see if we can find, Yassar wants to find about 50 plants.
Yes.
So we are on a hunt to see if we can find 50 plants that we can promote. Yassar wants to promote natural medicine here in Laos. And let me show them your Yassar. So this is Yassar.
Hello, guys.
Yeah, and Yassar basically is one of my followers. He's been following me now for how long?
4 years.
4 years on YouTube. So Yassar was the one who sponsored me and invited me here to Laos. So again, on behalf of all of those who are watching, yes, I want to thank Yassar for inviting me. All right, so hold this again, Yassar. Let's see how many. Now look, Yassar. If you look, pause, because Yassar is with me in the studio now. You know, we have some hands clap for Yassar. Come on. I want to see some hands clapping for Yassar in the house. Come here, Yassar. Come here. Let me put you on the screen. So Yassar is with me. See Yassar here. So Yassar is the one that has brought me here to Asia. We've been traveling and we've been doing so much videos. And guys, you'll be amazed. Yassar, we linked up with the Nifty. Come on, Nifty. Tackling, yeah, man, come on. Put some hands together for Yassar, man. Young man in his 20s with a vision and passion. This guy has been, I want to also thank Samuel. Samuel, I don't think he's watching, but Samuel was also one of the persons who got me here. And let me tell you something, I'm excited. Guys, you're going to see some remarkable thing. I've met with the Minister of Health here. I've consulted with consultations, health consultations with all the top officials in health. From the Minister of Health right down to all different sectors, the Food and Drug Administration, so many areas. They want me to come back. They want us to. So you're going to see those videos. We had a wonderful time. Yeah, man, so put your hands together for Yassar. Wonderful young man, and he has done so much. He has spent so much. You're going to see some videos that we have done with drone shots, and he actually employed a whole production team to capture all of this so that we could share it with the rest of the world. So many good-hearted people out there like him. And I just want to tell him thanks for he and his team and his mother and his brothers. I mean, wonderful. I've been sharing so much as it relates to his brother who was a skeptic. I can say, Yassar's brother who was a skeptic. Come here, Yassar. Yassar's brother who was a skeptic, because tell us quickly, how was your liver flush?
My liver flush?
Mm-hmm.
Everything came out.
Everything came out.
Yes.
All right. So Yassar's brother who was a skeptic, somewhat of a skeptic, when he brought to me the picture of his gallstone on his finger. No, it showed me a picture of all the gallstones coming up. And he said, listen, man, I'm going to India in a couple of weeks, double days time. And when I go to India, I want you to come to India. So guess what? If you're watching from India, I'm coming down to India. And we're going to help to improve the health of so many persons. So many persons. Desiree informs Jared says, I'm waiting mine. the amazing gallbladder and liver flush, I think it's in the description. If it's not of this video, I'm going to put it in afterwards. But there's a link in the description if you want to contact me, but we're going to put the link in the description. Yeah, so Sonia said, thank you, Yassar. Desreen, Jenny, and Lem, and so many persons are giving a hand clap to Yassar for that. So thank you, Yassar, for all that you've been doing. All right?
You can see all of these herbs are repeating themselves. Oh, here's another one. Oh my gosh, look at these herbs. Ah! Most person wouldn't know what herb that is, because this is not how it looks in Jamaica. Yeah? This herb, most persons wouldn't know it if it's not producing the flower, if it's not flower. This is a herb also from the amaranth family. Let me see if I can see. I don't see any. So this herb is actually called devil's horse whip. That's the devil's horse whip. But because, I don't know if it's because of the climate, look at the size of these leaves. I've never seen devil horse whip this beautiful. Never seen devil horse whip leaves this big. So this is saying that this soil is so nutritious, and the plants here are so enjoying the soil here. Look at the plant. I want you guys to look on the plant. Look on the leaves. The leaves are perfect. There's no insect bite on the leaves. There is no damage on the leaves. From the jack in the bush to the Spanish needle, all the leaves here are beautiful. They're almost perfect. How many plants is that?
8.
8. All right.
As you can see, we're not consistent. we weren't counting properly. Nifty says, I'll be doing my flush. Nifty says, I've been doing my flush in July after returning from Jamaica. Good, Nifty. And I hope, we've had so many testimonials from persons who have done the liver. I think last week I shared a testimony, but so many persons are sharing their testimonies about the amazing gallbladder and liver flush. But this plant, the devil's horsewhip, is also from the amaranth family. The seeds are also edible, but apart from being a plant or being a vegetable, it has powerful medicinal property. It is antispasmodic, which means that it helps with coughing. If you're coughing, you can dehydrate it and use it. It is emetic, which means that it also can induce vomiting. Antispasmodic and emetic. Yeah, emetic. One of the strongest emetic herb that we know is a duck flower. Well, this is also emetic. It works like that. It's also good for boils and diarrhea and dysentery. And the root is especially used as a diuretic in veterinary medicine, also in humans. So, you can if you're having problems passing your urine, it can be used like that. Desiree Jared Farm, is the devil's horsewhip? Is the devil's horsewhip the plant with the long maca in the center, doctor? Yeah, man, I'd say, man. I just the children say, hold on this, and now pull it, and leave the prickles in your hand. So, definitely. Now, I just want to segue a bit, guys. I'm going to be in New York. I'm going to be in New York the 10th to the 15th. So, from the 10th to the 15th, I'm going to be in New York. If you know of anyone that would want to visit us, there should be a form in the description of this video, which means I leave Saturday. So Saturday coming, I leave Laos and I head for New York for a couple of days. So from the 10th to the 15th, I'm going to be in New York, and I'm hoping to do same Herbwalk, and I'm hoping to meet up with persons. So if you'd love to meet up with me, please fill out the form in the description. And then in Florida, I'm hoping to be in Florida the 17th to the 21st. I don't have a location yet for Florida. When you actually go to the form, it will tell you where in New York I'm going to be, and you can actually decide which day out of those days, you can come and what time and that type of thing. And then I'm going to be in Florida. I don't know where yet I'm going to be in Florida. So guys, if you're watching, and if you know of anyone in Florida that could possibly host me, first come, first serve, because I'm throwing out to the public, then please go to the form, fill out the form, and my assistant will get that information to me. I'll give you a call and we'll discuss the detail and then share, add that information to the form. But I'm preferably looking for somewhere in the Fort Lauderdale area. I'm looking for areas where there's a high concentration of Jamaicans and Caribbean people. All right. So just wanted to throw that in. All right. So let's move on.
See another one. I see one over there. But look on this one. Look at this one. But we viewed this herb already. All right. This herb that we're looking on is. I told you about this herb last night. You remember it?
Which one is it?
The purple one. This one.
Oh yeah.
Remember what it was? Remember what it's used for? That is called duppy gun.
Duppy gun.
Duppy gun. This is called Jamaican ginseng. So the root of this herb is actually used for building sperm count. Oh, I should ask you, because we're in the wild. Are there snakes here? A lot of,
Oh, probably.
What? So Lao has a lot of snakes?
Probably.
Why is that snake?
All right, so that is the duppy gun. And duppy gun, as most of us, most Jamaican men know, duppy gun as an aphrodisiac. It helps to boost sexual desire. But what it's mostly used for is building the sperm count. So it helps to build sperm count. As a matter of fact, taking too much of duppy gun can lead to dry back, because when you have, so we don't encourage our men to go and just start drinking, just like that, because it's going to improve your sex drive, it's going to improve your sperm count. It's possible for you to go out there to act like a rabbit. You're going to end up with dry back. But apart from those, huh?
What is dry?
Dry back is when you ejaculate and there's no sperm coming. So you don't want that to happen to you. Rela tuberosa, Jamaican ginseng, that's what we call it. But the tea from the plant is good for cough, right? So it's anti-spasmodic as well. It's good for colds and flu, and it is also used as a remedy for inflammation of the stomach and intestine, and it's also good for constipation. All right, so it's used as a remedy for inflammation of the stomach and the intestine, and it's used for constipation and stomach ailments. That's the duppy gun. That's a leaf. The root is what we use for aphrodisiac and for sperm building qualities. All right. JCDC Trelawney. I wonder if this is a real JCDC Trelawney. JCDC Trelawney says, what are the other names for duppy gun? So I know duppy gun, because when you put it in water, it bursts. Jamaican ginseng. Those are the most common names I know in Jamaica. I know of about 2 others, but I don't remember right now. JCDC Trelawney. All right, so let's continue.
Snakes?
Yes.
I should ask you, what type of animals are in Laos? Are there monkeys?
Monkeys. Not so much.
Not so much, but they have monkeys here. What are some of the other animals that you know of they have here? What about crocodiles, alligators? Do they have them here?
No.
No? Okay.
In the zoo, yes.
In the zoo, okay. All right, look at this herb. This is also found in Jamaica. This is called the yellow pui. And the bark of this herb is an astringent. It's very good for kidney disease. Very good for kidney disease. So a person who having kidney problems, herb is very good for that. How many herbs is that?
9.
9. And
Kidney problem.
this one, so far, this one looks like herb number 10.
All right, so the yellow pui, and most plants that grow yellow flower is good for the urinary tract system. But the yellow pui has a compound called lapacol. And lapacol is extremely good for treating a number of different types of cancers. It has to be used in small amounts. This is why those plants, and if you use too much, it becomes cytotoxic. Most herbs that are cytotoxic, that are said to be toxic, are usually very powerful, and you have to use it in very small amounts. So the yellow pui is one of them. And the part that we use is, of course, the bark of the yellow pui. JCDC Trelawney is asking, is it different from ashwagandha? Yes, it is. Ashwagandha is actually a herb that is found in South America. It's one of the herbs that is used a lot by the Indians, and it's used as an adaptogen. Ashwagandha is an adaptogen and also a sweet herb. So sweet herbs tend to give you energy. So ashwagandha, which is similar to raw moon, in its effects. It's an adaptogen, and it also helps to give the body energy.
All right, this one. Oh, it's not. It looks like, but it's not. I don't know this one. The leaves are different. It looks like the Jamaican. What's the herb? Dogwood. It's not dogwood. That's still on herb number 9. And guys, this is just in the, and this is of course guinea grass. So this is herb number 10. And guinea grass is a salty herb as well. It's nourishing to the body. Most of the plants, by the way, that we've looked at are nourishing herbs. So that's telling us again, nature is telling us that most of what it has available is to nourish the body. So the reason why we are sick is because we're not consuming enough nourishing herbs, salty herbs. All right?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's good for weight loss. It's good for cleansing the blood. It's good for adding iron to the blood. Has a lot of benefits. So we're at herb number 10. We've identified 10 herbs and we haven't walked a mile as yet. All right?
Yep.
All right, guys, so we are continuing our walk. We're up to herb number 10. Found 10 herbs so far that we found in Jamaica. This is another variety of the amaranth. Same color, but this is a red one. So this is a better variety for blood problems. It also helps, there's a student of mine, Deborah. Deborah actually uses it a lot in her hair growth clinic for persons who lose hair. This herb is very good for that. All right, so
All right, so this is the red amaranth, which is Amaranthus cruentus, and the red amaranth is the amaranth that is used widely in the pharmaceutical industry. It's used especially in Germany. It's used a lot in hair serums. It's used for arteriosclerosis, which is in narrowing blood vessels. It is used for stomach ulcers. Persons who are having ulcers in the stomach, they can get the juice and drink it. It's used for tuberculosis as well as it is antiseptic. All right, so it's good for a number of mouth conditions. It's antifungal and it's also anti-inflammatory. So the red compound that you see in it traditionally makes it a very good choice for the blood. So again, it's good for it's used in a lot of hair care products, used in a lot of serum. So you can dehydrate it and you can after you dehydrate it, blend it and then use it as a rinse for the hair. It's used for arteriosclerosis as a tea, especially combining with sorrel. It's very good for that. It's used for the stomach, for stomach ulcers. It's used for tuberculosis. It's antiseptic, which means that you can use a number of external applications. It's antifungal and it is anti-inflammatory. So you can combine this with herbs like with guaco. You can combine it with herbs like king of the forest, as secondary ingredients in fighting those conditions. Yannick Drummond. Yannick, first of all, tell us where you're calling, where you're joining us from. So Yannick is joining our class. And I don't know, are you guys interested in becoming a part of the Kinder Wellness community? So we have a whole community on Telegram. We would love for you to come over there. Come over there, so we want to see you in our Telegram group where this is just a one-off event, but during the week we have activities right through. We have different persons sharing plans and sharing their knowledge, and it's a wonderful place, a space to be. What can be used? Jamaica beginner Yannick, tell us where in Jamaica you're from. You're afraid to tell us where in Jamaica you're from? Tell us where in Jamaica you're from, man. You might be in one of the places where I want to come and do a herb walk. What can be used to boost the immune system? Desireen is spreading the word. Oh, Desireen, tell you about us. All right. Thank you, Desireen Forbes Jarrett. So Yannick is one of Yannick Drummond is a fruit of Desireen. All right. Thank you very much. I hope you like and subscribe our channel. Oh, she's from Falmouth, Trelawney. All right. I was there recently. I come up in Trelawney to check my good friend Jennifer, Usain Bolt's mother. I come there to check her sometime because, you know, she's a herb enthusiast. If she knew about this, she would be all over she would be here as well. What is the purple water grass used for? Verona, we're going to answer your question because I believe it's one of the herbs that we look at. No, we didn't mention. Did you see it? The purple one. Good for ladies, good for the prostate and so on. So we're gonna look at that. So we're gonna talk about that. So anybody liking the classroom? Anybody like the way the classroom is structured? Give me some round of applause if you like the classroom. If you like the classroom, if you're learning anything, come on, give us a round of applause. And also, you know, we're still at 44. I would love to finish the live knowing that we reach at least 60. I would love to be a part of the Telegram group, Yannick Drummond's. Okay, so the link, if it's not yet in the description of this video, it's going to be after the recording. So I'll make sure that it's there. All right, but I think it should be there. If it's not there, any of our 60 minutes that you go to, there's a link to join the Kinder Wellness community. And you know, we have work over there if you want to do Twitter because we're looking for moderators. I'm so busy doing what I'm doing. I want to thank Chelsea, and Chelsea's maybe one of my most active moderators. She lives in Florida. She's not on right now. I want to thank I won't get no problem none by calling names. Herbert Towselin. She's not. But Chelsea is one of my most active moderators in our Telegram group. We're looking for more moderators. What herb can be used as natural antibiotics? Hyacinth Baker. So we have herbs like garlic. In the wild, we have herbs like we mentioned so many antibiotics a while ago. Most of these that we've mentioned are antibiotics. One way of identifying antibiotics, by the way, most antibiotics have a very strong flavor. Most pines are antibiotics. Most herbs from the pine family are antibiotics. Most herbs from the mint family are antibiotics. So a lot of herbs in nature are antibiotics. All right, so thank you very much. Taki Lemkwa. No, me get it. Taki Lemkwa. Thank you very much. Taki Lemkwa. All right, let's move on.
Notice what we're seeing basically is the same herbs repeating themselves. See?
Yeah.
Now, so far, out of the 9 herbs that we've looked at, maybe 8 of them are nourishing herbs. So that's telling me that a lot of the people who are sick here, their sickness is due to a lack of nourishment, because what Mother Nature has provided in abundance here is nourishing herbs, right? So these persons who are sick here would have diseases that are related to malnutrition, malnourishment, as it relates to mineral deficiencies. So these plants are in abundance because nature is making it available for persons who have nourishment issues. Hey guys, what you doing?
How are you?
Where you from?
We're from Russia. Yeah.
Russia?
Yeah.
I'm Dr. Ben. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm a herbalist. So I want to ask you,
Yeah.
but you're from Russia?
Yeah.
Do you know any herbs?
Little bit.
Give me 5 herbs from Russia. I'm on YouTube. I want to test the Russian people to see how knowledgeable they are of herbs. 5 herbs from Russia.
5 herbs?
Yeah, that you know.
Okay. I forget.
No, you're not allowed to look on the phone.
No. Translate that.
Oh, translate. Okay.
Yes,
all right.
translate. Only translate. Where are you from? English.
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
So what a nice place to live.
Yeah.
Sweet jam down.
Amazing.
Yeah, man.
Can you write it up? Take it. Can you put it what you mean?
Okay.
Yeah, question what you
Uh-huh.
ask me.
Give me 5 herbs from Russia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh. Which one? Smoke or
Oh.
which one?
Smoke? No, not smoke. Medicine. Well,
medicine.
yeah,
Oh,
well,
medicine.
we can use medicine. So which herb for smoke? Give me
Oh.
one. You're allowed to give me one that smoke.
One smoke.
Mhm.
Ramashka.
Ramashka?
Yeah, this is in English.
It's flower.
Yeah.
It's what?
It's flower.
It's a flower.
Yeah, you know.
All right, so that's one herb that these guys know is Ramashka.
No, chamomile.
Oh, chamomile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This liquid in tea and drink. This good for health.
Yeah.
And
Good.
next. Yeah,
Very good. Chamomile. Chamomile.
this mint. It's not
Mint, number 2. Very good.
mint. Yeah.
3 more.
Yeah, three more. And
Подорожник.
So they know chamomile and they know mint. 2 big family of herbs. Good.
plantain, you notice?
Plantain. Good. Good for joint pain.
Yeah, joint pain. If
Yeah.
you hear,
Right?
here.
Yeah, good for the eye too.
Yes.
Yeah, plantain. That's good. Which one? Grape leaves. Very good.
It's
For,
for it,
good for the heart.
Very
Yeah.
good, yeah.
Good for the heart.
And also,
Grape leaves. Good.
Это что? Это не-
Pumpkin seeds.
No, it's
No?
not. It's not.
But it's good. Good for the prostate.
yeah, this
Ah.
good.
Нет,
When
он
you-
про траву говорит, брат. Это же уже семена.
okay,
получается.
you choose.
Я вообще ничего не знаю.
You give me another one then?
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Don't say if you don't know.
Right, but you good. 5 herbs. That was very good. I promote herbs.
Not herbs.
Yeah.
Can you tell your YouTube,
Ah.
please? I will follow.
You will follow. Okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Ben ICM TV. That's me.
Okay, it's good. Подпишись, спрашивай.
My name is Pasha. Nice
Pasha.
to meet you. Yeah.
Nice to
Pasha,
meet-
Pasha.
Pasha.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Austin.
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 Nice to meet you.
Nice to
Looking out for you guys.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you so
All right.
much.
All right. All right. That was cool. So, you know, it's we need to encourage the knowledge of herbs. We need to encourage more young people to want to know herbs because herbs is the medicine for the poor. And so we live in a world where more people are becoming poorer. And so if it is that, and that's why reason why I'm here in Laos. We have a meeting. I met with a professor, and you know, we're making arrangements to go and visit the university because here in Laos, they have traditional medicine alongside Western medicine. That's the same thing I'm saying to Jamaica. I hope they would see the vision. I want you to look at that plant. Do you know what that is? Look at the size of that plant. Amaranth. That's callaloo. Now, you may not know, but in Jamaica, people have to use fertilizers to get plant that big. This riverbed, I don't know where the water is coming from, but this is so fertile. This would be a good soil to take up, to carry back home and plant stuff in, because the plants are telling you that. This is very rich. Look at all the leaves. No insect on the leaves. All the leaves are dark green and pretty. Look at that amaranth. Look at that callaloo. That's a vegetable. So far, most of the plants that we've looked at are vegetable. 10 out of the 10 plants, maybe 8 of them are vegetables. And that's very good. Very good. I see almond. It's a very good herb for blood pressure, by the way. I don't even know this herb. Do you know this herb? It produces a fruit. It's called almond. Almond. Very good for high blood pressure. That's about plant 11. And here's a Lao Lao National. Hello, Dr.
All right, so we just looked on the almond, and I should say that we are now at 49 views. That's good. We need 11 more. Let's see if we can hit 60. So just as I said, we dropped down to 47. Let's see if we can hit 60 views. As I said, we want to hurry up because we want to get some herbs. Big up Yashar. All right. Dr. Ben, Dr. Sebi says garlic is poisonous. Is that factual? All right. Now, let me put that on the screen. No. Here's the thing about poison. Poison is sometimes determined based on the dosage, based on the amount. So the opposite is also true. Medicine is also based on the dosage. So I can use one of the most toxic poison in the world as medicine, but it is based on the amount. Let's look at rice. Rice contains very poisonous substance in it, but you'd have to eat so much rice for it to be poisonous, right? Because rice contains ricin, same active ingredient in ricin is in castor oil. The reason why it's called rice is because it has ricin, which is poisonous. So garlic is not natural. I agree with you. But it's based on the amount of poison, or it's based on the amount of substance that you eat that determines whether it's poison. So anything, that's why I always say, anything that can help you can kill you. And anything that can kill you can help you. Let me show you how the industry has worked on that. Some of the most powerful herbs in the world are also noted to be poisonous. They say that they are poisonous. Why are they poisonous? Because they are so powerful that if you take a small amount of it, it can kill you. So it's a two-sided question. But is it natural? Maybe that's the question you should ask. Is it natural? It's not natural because it's naturally found in nature. Now, I also want to say that we can never strive to eat 100% alkaline, which a lot of people get that misconception, not because Dr. Sebi promoted it, but it's an interpretation. The fact that he spends so much time focusing on the importance of alkaline foods, most people think that you need to eat 100% alkaline. 100% alkaline will hurt you. We should strive to be at least 80% alkaline, 20% acidic. If you eat 100% alkaline, you will get sick. Or if you eat 100% alkaline, you will be dead. So what you need to strive for is 75 to 80% alkaline, 20% acidic, which means that within your 20% range of acidic, you can consume ginger, acidic ginger. You can consume garlic. But because most of the foods are alkaline forming foods, the alkalinity is higher than the acidity. So the end result is that your body is in a state of alkalinity, not acidity. So we should strive not to have an alkaline body. But you don't need to eat 100% alkaline to have an alkaline body. You need to eat 80% alkaline food or more alkaline foods to have an alkaline pH, not an acidic pH. All right? So just like what Nifty Friends said, consuming too much of anything isn't good, even water. All right? So it's not because Dr. Sebi promoted eating 100% alkaline. what he promoted is the body should have a pH of being alkaline. People interpret it as being eating 100% alkaline, but he never said that. What he talks about a lot and focuses a lot on is alkaline forming foods. And he focuses on that because he was responding to a society in which most of the foods were acidic. Right? So it's important that we make that, that distinction, because it's a big misconception that is out there, that you should eat only alkaline foods. You can eat acidic foods, but it should comprise 20% or 15% of your diet. All right? So let's move on.
Nice to meet you.
Soon
You from
finish,
Laos?
oh, guys.
Now,
You're from Laos?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking at herbs.
would I?
You don't know any herbs? I want you to tell me 5 herbs from Laos. 5 herbs that you know. None?
No, no.
Not good, man. Not good. That's not good. You don't know no herb? I'm sure you know herb. Let's talk about the herbs in your kitchen. Ginger? He doesn't understand? Ginger? Turmeric? You don't know turmeric? You don't know ginger? Shame on you. Nice to meet you, though. All right, so, you know, it's sad. You know, we have so many Lao person here that don't know herbs, and that's something that we want to change. In Jamaica, the average Jamaican knows at least 20 or 30 herbs. If I were to go around in Jamaica and do a survey like this, the average Jamaicans, including children, would be able to tell me at least 20 herbs, and that's a very nice part of our culture, and we want to retain it. We want to encourage the cultural and the medicinal use of herbs. We don't want our knowledge to die. We want to encourage that that knowledge to thrive and to spread. So I don't think we're going to find much herbs here. I see one more. Herb, and I don't know if we're going to see any more because we're going in a more developed area. All right, and this is a herb that's good for a number of viruses. All right, so it continues. The road continues. Oh, this is a nice building, man. What is this?
It's a studio.
Oh, apartment.
Probably a co-working space.
Oh, co-working space. And I wanted to show my ICM Nation this, because I see this almost everywhere. This object that we see here is very beautiful. What is this? What is this? This
Spirit house.
Spirit house. Wow. And this is typically outside of every home here in Laos, or every business place in Laos. So this is a spirit house because Laos is predominantly
Buddhist.
Right. So this is a house where persons have their incense, and they offer their drink and their stuff to their gods. You know? See that a lot here. So that's a spirit house, guys. Yeah, that's a spirit house. Alright, so let's see if we can continue. Beyond all of this development, there are some more green spaces. So we want to look at those green spaces and find out what we find. I see another herb. Before I show you the next herb, guys, you've got to give me a thumbs up. If you think we're doing a good job, you've got to give me a thumbs up, and you've got to share it. If you haven't subscribed, you need to subscribe. So we have herb. How much herbs are we so far?
11.
11. I'm going on to herb number 12, and this is a herb that's very good for persons who have kidney stones. Persons who are part of our ICM Wellness Nation, they would know this herb. And I'm going to ask Yassar, because I've showed Yassar this herb so many times.
Oh my God.
Come, Yassar, which herb is this?
Not sure.
Look under the leaves.
Oh, tamarind.
No, this is not tamarind. This is related to tamarind, but not tamarind. It's for kidney stones.
Okay.
Right? So this is called Chanca Piedra.
Chanca Piedra.
Yeah, in Jamaica we also call it Chamba Bitter. Again, I also want persons to take note of the size of this plant. This is and it's very warm here, very humid here, so there's actually water in the atmosphere. So look at the size of this this plant, very big. Here's another plant.
So that is the Desrin says that is called chambabita. That's what it's called in Jamaica, chambabita. Carry me seed. It has many common names in Jamaica, and it is it is very good. It's one of the key herbs that we use in our kidney tonic, Philanthus nairuri, and it is traditionally used for kidney stones. It's thought that Chanca Pedra contains chemicals that might relieve spasm and increase urine. So one of the reasons why it's so good for removing kidney stones, and I prefer it over like the Mimosa pudica root, which works similarly. The Chanca Pedra, what it does is that it has what we call spasms properties. What it does is that it expands the urethra. Not only does it break up the stone, not only cracks them up, but what it also does is that it expands the urethra to expel the stones. So with the Mimosa pudica, it breaks up the stone. But here's a little thing. It may break up the stone, but because it doesn't expand the urethra, you may have pain passing them. And it can also slice the urethra because the stones, when they're broken up, are very sharp. And it can cause, bleeding. So sometimes persons are passing the stone, you'll have blood in the urine. Sometimes that's what happens, especially if the stones are very big. You don't want to just use Mimosa pudica alone. You have to use the Chanca Pedra, because in addition to helping to break the stones, what it does is that it opens the urethra and allows the stones to pass easily. So that's one of the reasons why it's one of my choice herbs for removing kidney stones over so many other stones, so many other herbs that are out there. It's one of the compulsory herbs in our kidney tonic medicine.
Don't know this one. All right, so I've never seen this plant before. I don't know what plant this is. I don't know which one that is. Never seen it in Jamaica before. So that's herb number 12. Herb number 13. Everybody know this plant.
Noni.
I'm sure you know this plant. This is noni. Right? This is noni. And noni is a Tahitan herb. It grows. It's very prevalent in Asia. Because it's used for centuries. It's used for treating cancer. The leaves are also good. The root are also usable. It's used for the juice from the fruit is an excellent what we call it now, menstruum. So if you want to make medicine and you don't want to use alcohol, you don't want to use water, this is a very good herb. You could actually make the juice from this. You can add ginger to it. You can add turmeric for it. It's actually fermented, so it's very good for the gut. It overall boosts the body's immune system. So this is one of those herbs that are very good for the immune system. So again, this is a herb that's contributing to the fact that what nature is saying to us overwhelmingly is that nutrients is available in abundance here. So it means a lot of people here need nutrients. So that's number 12.
Yes.
I see some herb here, but these are grown. I think it's, this is lemongrass.
So our noni.
All right, so that's 2 herbs. We're at 11.
All right, so we just looked at herb number 18, which is the noni, Morinda citrifolia. And everybody knows noni. Noni is one of the, in every culture, there is a use, not a use, but a high use of a particular herb. And for the Tahitian nation, noni was one, a Polynesian nation, Noni was one of those herbs that is used. I like to use it as a menstruum, which is to get the juice and to put other herbs in them for it to act as the menstruum to pull the medicines out. Menstruum, which is a menstruum is like a solvent, so you use it to extract other medicines in them. So I like to use noni for that purpose because it makes an excellent fermented drink that's good for cancer, gastric ulcers, and it's also good for depression. The leaves also are very beneficial. Most time we talk about noni, we talk about the fruit, but the leaves and the root are also beneficial as well.
That's 13. Wow, we are climbing. We are climbing. 13 herbs so far. This is more. Duppy gun. And that's why I say Jamaica is a wonderful place. I'm all the way in Laos, which is Asia. And I'm finding all of these herbs in Jamaica. Because Jamaica, as kin, Jamaica has 70% of all the medicinal herbs in the world are found in Jamaica. 70%. Look at all of these herbs that are in abundance. All of these are found in Jamaica. You know, so Jamaica is a phenomenal country. And then, in addition to all of these herbs, there's about maybe about 50% of the herbs found in Jamaica is found nowhere else in the world. So we have 70% of the herbs in the world in Jamaica, and 50% of our herbs is found nowhere else in the world. That's amazing.
Yep.
And that tells us that, you know, for the politicians and for those persons who are watching, that tells us that a significant portion of our natural resource is in herbs. I mean, it's a no-brainer. People are getting sick, people are sick all over the world, and we have 50% of the herbs found nowhere else in the world there in Jamaica. I mean, so imagine if we could just make that herb available to the rest of the world. I mean, it's crazy. I'm not an expert, but I think this is wild cocoa. This is we use this in Jamaica to give it to pigs. Mm-hmm. It scratches a lot. If you put it on your skin, it will scratch you a lot. All right, I see another herb that's also very good. Look at that big tree over there. All those trees on the rivers and the banking, that tree is called guango. It's called guango. It produces.
All right, so guango is a tree that is mostly known by farmers for its use as a foraging herb. A lot of farmers use it by adding molasses to it or adding guango with guinea grass to cows to help them to put on weight. But apart from its use in that way, guango is very beneficial and has a number of other medicinal uses. It is antispasmodic, so it helps with relaxing the stomach. It is an anticonvulsant, so it helps with relaxing the stomach and it helps with preventing persons from coughing. It's also an analgesic, which means that it's good for pain. It's good for pain. This herb that can be used with herbs like John Charles or Jack in the Bush. It's anti-emetic, so if you consume too much of it, it will allow you to vomit. So you can use it to do a cleanse orally by taking high doses, and it will allow you to vomit. It's anti-rheumatic, so it helps with rheumatic pain. It's an antiseptic because it helps kill so many different bacteria and viruses. And this is the leaves and the barks we're talking about. And it is used for a number. It is used to treat nervous disorders as well as gastrointestinal disorders as well as fevers. So it has a variety of uses. The fruit, which is the pod, is sweet. If you taste it, it tastes like honey. it's helpful in boosting energy. So if you see a guango tree, you can pick up the pods and you can add hot water to it, and it helps to boom boost your energy because it has natural sugars in it. You can use it to make a juice, so you can get the pods, you can pour hot water on it, and then it will give you a sweet juice, and then you can add lemon to it, and then you can refrigerate it, and you can have it as a whole tea or iced tea. So it's very refreshing, very energetic. And that is, of course, the guango. So the next time you see guango, it's not just a shade tree. It's an excellent tree for boosting the body's immune system as well as helping with so many other health conditions. All right, that's herb number 20, 19, 20, sorry, 19. All right, that's herb number 19. And then herb, hold on, my 18 was noni. 19 should be lemongrass. I don't remember talking about lemongrass.
Nodeweed.
Huh?
Nodeweed.
Nodeweed. Okay. All right. So let's continue.
Juice is a pod that's edible, and whenever I find the pod, I'm gonna let you. All right. So we're on our way back to where we started out, and I didn't realize that here's herb number 18. This is nodeweed. Nodeweed, but these nodeweeds are not doing good. The flowers are very small. Usually the flowers are supposed to be bigger, and the leaves are supposed to be much larger as well. And nodeweed is good for parasites. Let me taste it. It's good for the liver as well. So this is called nodeweed. I have one. Grows in most yard in Jamaica.
There's no weed?
Yeah.
All right, so that's a nodeweed, and nodeweed is used as one of the best herbs for epileptic seizures. It's used along with herbs like spirit weed. You can dry them and use them together. Epilepsy, seizures. It's used for seizures. So you can use nodeweed along with spirit weed and another herb called kava kava. It's grown in Jamaica. It's from the piper family, the root of the kava kava. Those are very good herbs for epileptic seizures. Nodeweed is also used for threatened abortion. For women who are maybe losing their children, nodeweed is good for that. It's also good for hiccup if you're having a hiccup, and it is also a laxative. So very good herbs for that as well.
Nodeweed. Also good for the kidney as well. Good for the urinary tract system. Alright, so trying to find herb number 18. So we're walking back, and sometimes we're looking more on one side of the road. So we're gonna see if we can find some. I see one, herb number 19. This is crabgrass. This is called crabgrass. And crabgrass is good for the scalp, it's good for the ear, it's good for parasites. It's also good for the stomach as well. Crabgrass. And it's also good for diphtheria and a number of, if you drink water and you're having belly ache, crabgrass is also very good for that. This looks like, it's not it.
Crabgrass is also good for a number of stomach issues, and it's also good for, it's also an aphrodisiac, Digitaria cillaris. So it's also good for improving sex drive, and a lot of people, just treat it as a common weed, but it has lots of benefit.
It was Damiana who's now. So, how much herbs are we at? 18?
18.
Let's see if we can find 2 more herbs, guys. 2 more herbs, and we would have completed our quota for today. So, I'm looking to see if I can find any more herbs that we missed while we were coming down. I haven't seen any as yet. So we're still just seeing pretty much a repeat of all those 18 herbs that we have identified. And so, you know, I encourage persons to do this in their homes because this is called, I call this a herb audit. So it's an audit and a recording of all the medicinal herbs that are around you, so that if you were to get sick, you would know exactly what you have on hand. A lot of people who are sick actually have the medicine growing right around them and they don't know. And I've proven that over and over and over again. I've done many house visits, and I always take it upon myself to check the yard, and I always confirm that a lot of times the people who are sick have the healing right around them. All right, so this is the yellow. This is the, no, this is yellow. And I want you to smell it. What does it smell like?
Strong.
Strong, like marijuana. So this is the spider plant. And spider plant is, most people don't know in Jamaica, this is also good for the urinary tract system. It's good for the kidney. It's good for the skin. It's good for gout and arthritis. This plant is good for that. It's called spider plant. That's herb number 19. Hey guys.
All right. So that is our 22 herbs that we looked at today. And of course, the last one is the Cleome viscosa, which is the yellow flower. The first one that we looked on was the Cleome spinosa. Right? That was the first one we looked at. This is the Cleome viscosa. And the flower is different. It's used a lot in Ayurvedic medicine. And it's also used in Chinese medicine. And it is documented to be an effective herb against rheumatoid arthritis, hypertension, malaria, and it's also helpful in wound healing. So that's a look at the plants, 20 plants that we found in Laos that are also found in Jamaica. And the minute as I hang up, as I leave this video, we're going to look more herbs. So we're going to be doing more videos. We have tons of videos, guys. I hope you enjoyed this evening's class. And if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. And also, we're going to be preparing some test questions. If you want to be a part of the test questions, then you have to join our Telegram group. If the link is not in this description or in the description of this video, it's in the description of my previous 60 Minutes with Mother Nature videos on YouTube. So if you go there, you'll see the link in the description. It says Kinder Wellness Community. You click on the link, make sure you have Telegram on your phone, and you can join our community. It's a nice, vibrant community. And I also want to say thank you, Aquavius, who has also been a very active member of the community. Just want to thank all you guys for making this successful. I'm on the hunt for 12,000 people to teach 120 herbs by the 12th month for free. And if you would like, it's for free. All you need to do is to join our community. And I would encourage that you get this chart. It's also in the link of our description or in the link of previous videos. It's not yet in this one. And there's also a diary that we have that I would strongly recommend that you get, that allows you to record the herbs as you go along. I want to thank you. Just remember the upcoming events. The 10th to the 15th, I'll be in New York. There should be a link in the description where you can register, where we can connect. The 17th to the 21st, I'll also be in Florida. And then the 23rd is when we have our upcoming Herbwalk retreat there in Port Antonio, Portland. So those are the events that are coming up. I'd love to meet up with some of you guys. Vibing with the Natural One says, thanks to Yasar and his family to accommodating you there. Yeah, bless you again. And thank you very much, Vibing with the Natural One. So we're going to do some videos. We have some exciting, fun videos to post. So Jenny says, thanks, Dr. Ben. Class was great. So that means I'm seeing you next week. Will I be seeing you guys next week? Because it's every Sunday at 7 that we do this. The video comes out at 3. That's the Herbal video comes out at 3. Then the live class is at 7. And I don't know if I may have to do another live because I don't think, based on the energy of this live, I want to interrupt it to do interviews and stuff like that. I really want to focus and keep the attention there. So I may have to do another live in the week because that's also going to be important. So I'm going to do another live, maybe not as long as this live, but I'm definitely going to do another live. I'm going to keep this live focused on life and what matters. So again, I want to thank you guys for being on. Hope that it was a blessing. Hope to see you next week. Thank you very much. Remember, this is live, but the recording is still there. Share it with your friends. See if we can get some more people to come on. Until next time, this is Dr. Ben Israel from Laos here with come up, say hi to people. With Yasar and One Side. This is also my friend One Side. This is One Side from Laos. And we're going to look some herb now. We're going to meet up with the ministry people and do some more videos. Until next time, this is Dr. Ben Israel saying your health is your responsibility. And the greatest weapon against sickness and disease is education, not medication. Bye-bye.